Friday night football at Bloomington Stadium. It's week 6 of the season, and your district champs are back home for homecoming as the Kennedy Eagles take on the DeLaSalle Islanders. Beautiful Bloomington Stadium. It's early October, but you wouldn't know it by the weather. We were over 70 degrees again today in the Twin Cities. Not much wind out there, just a beautiful night for football. Alongside Paul Fournier, Josh Powers. Paul, what a season for Kennedy. 3-2. A great chance here to make it 4-2. Coming off that big win last week, co-district champs. They're just trying to keep it rolling. Yeah,
they lost their first game. They go on a little 2-game win streak. They lose against Richfield, a tough loss there, a Saturday night or Saturday afternoon. Then they go out to Minneapolis Southwest, and then they upset them. So they got a lot of momentum on their side, and DeLaSalle obviously 0-5 right now. Not an easy game. It could be kind of one of those trap games for Kennedy.
Yeah, 0-5, but some scores similar. They played Park Center to a similar score that Kennedy played them earlier this year, so by no means will this game expected to be a cakewalk. Well, we'll talk more about this game as we get going here in the pregame, but first let's take a look at the top 10. As you said, Paul, there's some big-time matchups here tonight, and it starts right there in the top 5.
Yeah, top 5. You got Lakeville South. They won last night against Prior Lake, and then number 2 and 3, Shakopee and Eden Prairie. They're going at it tonight at Eden Prairie, so they're going to be kicking off about the same time we're kicking off. And then another big game is number 6 and 7, Wayzata's at Maple Grove. So that's another fun game to watch out there. And then St. Thomas Academy, a 5A team sneaking into the top 10 there. That's a team Kennedy needs to watch out for. They're in the same conference or section when it comes to playoffs.
Yeah, they probably have that number 1 seed wrapped up with one more win, you would think. But Kennedy right there, number 2, and number 2 by quite a large margin. And certainly Kennedy would hope to keep it that way, and they would go a long way to doing exactly that with a win here this evening. Let's take a look at those games last week, and boy, as we were doing the Jefferson game, those scores were rolling in from Minneapolis Southwest. What a win for Kennedy. It got a little hairy there at the end. At one point, Kennedy was up 14 in the fourth quarter, but they were able to close it out. Yeah, they closed it out. That's exactly what Coach Williams has been talking to them about. They've had those times where they have the lead, and we saw it later in the year where we weren't sure when they had a big lead in the first half. Will they be able to keep that momentum going into the second half? Southwest was the biggest test for them so far, and they were able to stand up and keep that lead all the way to the end. And then you see Richfield there, a nice win for them. They're starting to really figure some things out. A younger team this year, except for their quarterback, as we saw against Kennedy, but they are on a good roll right now, putting up 49 last week. So let's take a look at the district standings. Now, these are final district standings. There's no more district games this year, and you see Kennedy on top, tied with Southwest in Richfield. Now, that's overall record, Paul, so obviously Southwest has the better overall record, but all 3 of those first 3 teams finishing at 2-1. They're all co-district champs. Yeah, it's almost a tri-district champ, and it's going to be a fun, interesting way to see how they actually give the district champion out this year with 3 teams all with the same record. And then obviously Washburn there at the end. Very unusual year for them. They were getting blown out a lot. I mean, it started with Kennedy when they put 40 on them. All right, games this week. Obviously the one here, Kennedy and DeLaSalle. Jefferson on the road, a critical game for them. Their next 2 games is going to tell a lot about how they're going to be seeded. They're also in the same section as Kennedy, and who knows, there could be a Battle of Bloomington in a couple weeks. It'd be interesting to see. We saw it here on the soccer pitch last night. 2 Battle of Bloomington games came right down to the last moments where, my alma mater came away Kennedy. So it'll be fun to see if that can happen here, and it would be no bigger than a stage than right there in the playoffs, maybe going to play St. Thomas Academy. See the rest of the district playing out of district games. That'll be a good one. Southwest, Minneapolis North. Keep your eye on that one. 2 pretty good teams doing battle in that game. All right, let's talk more about this matchup, Paul. Kennedy, really the last 3-4 weeks of the season, ever since that opening game against Park Center, they have certainly been balanced, and they're going to try to keep the run game going again. And our key matchup, that Kennedy offensive line, versus that DeLaSalle defensive line. The Islanders have given up a lot of rushing yards this week. Kennedy hopes that can continue tonight.
Yeah, Kennedy kind of a running back by committee. Their one big running back went down against Richfield in that first drive. I think he played a little bit last week against Southwest, and then he, with the committee behind them, it's kind of like the Vikings. They got a couple guys right behind them, and they, can just keep going.
Yeah, Eric Johnson, we'll see him. We'll see Javon Davis, Zach Zesh. We know what he can do running the football, and who knows, maybe we'll see Saeed Al-Hassani as well. Kennedy's got a lot of different weapons that they can use in that running game as they were on full display against Southwest. How about players to watch? One guy that's really emerged for Kennedy, Elijah Smith. We've seen him make some big defensive plays, and he maybe made the biggest offensive play of the game last week against Southwest, sealing it with that big third down catch.
Yeah, he made that big third down catch, gives him that new set of downs, runs the change. Coming into the night, he's a two-way player. He's got 17 tackles and 2 interceptions, and then 129 receiving yards. He's the number 2 receiver here on this Kennedy Eagles team.
Linebacker is going to be a key spot for Kennedy tonight against this DeLaSalle attack, and they've got a good one. Corey Bartholomew, we saw him make a splash play last home game against Richfield, and he's been solid all year for Kennedy.
Yeah, very solid. Kennedy has always been a very solid defensive team, and, it's still going on right now. Corey Bartholomew, 35 tackles overall. He can come up and make a big play. You got a couple other big guys out there, too, so he can kind of sneak his way in and make a big play for Kennedy's defense.
DeLaSalle, let's talk about them a little bit. A guy who's kind of a jack of all trades for them, Amir Everett. Talk about what he's done this year for the Islanders.
He's played a few games as quarterback. We aren't sure if it was, internal reasons, injuries, but he played a few games at quarterback. He's got 359 passing yards, 195 receiving yards as a receiver, and 92 rushing yards, I believe, either at a quarterback or even a receiver or a quarterback or a running back there. So he's a jack of all trades. Kennedy's going to have their hands full, similar to a January situation out in Richfield there.
There you see Everett. Another guy defensively for the Islanders who's kind of been a stalwart for them, Deshaun Harrison. Talk about him a little bit.
29 tackles and a sack. He can kind of run his way around. Kennedy likes to run with Zesh, so we'll see if he's able to catch up to him, and, that's going to be kind of the big key there, Kennedy's offense there against that linebacking core for the Islanders.
He's also mixed in an interception and a few tackle for losses as well, so Harrison figures to be a factor. How about your keys to the game, Paul? What's the 3 that you have in mind here?
Hey, starting off here with play with a target. Kennedy has never been a favorite team in I don't even know how many years, and they're the favorite coming into tonight. They got to keep their minds straight, keep their head on the game, and not, think it's going to be a cakewalk. As you said, they've played a couple teams very similar, and similar scores happen. So Kennedy's just got to keep their heads on straight. Coach Williams had them all very in a tight mindset when they showed up today.
Yeah, things that Kennedy hasn't been used to, at least in my time covering the game. Above 500 this late in the year. They're the co-district champs. They're number 2 in the section. These are some lofty times for Kennedy, and they cannot avoid a letdown tonight. Also, quick start for Kennedy. That's going to be important.
Quick start, exactly. The Islanders give up a lot of points in the first quarter, and then right away after halftime, they haven't scored any points in the third quarter as the Islanders. So Kennedy needs to be able to take advantage of those times to get points on the board. 7 points is what they want. If they can get a field goal, they got to take those field goals and take what points they can get.
Yeah, we saw that fast start was critical last week against Southwest. Conversely, 2 weeks ago, it was Richfield that got out to the lead, and Kennedy could never quite catch the Spartans. How about your third key, Paul?
Third down defense. You got to get them off the field, get the offense back out there.
All right, it's homecoming for Kennedy, week 6 of the season. Kennedy and DeLaSalle will have the starting lineups, national anthem. See you back in a few minutes for the opening kickoff here at Bloomington Stadium.
It is a distinct pleasure to welcome to Bloomington Stadium the United States Marine Color Guard from the recruiting station Twin Cities. you, Pep Band. All right. Again, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you the United States Marine Corps Color Guard from the recruiting station Twin Cities. The two rifle bearers are Private Thomas Knapp and Sergeant Xavier Benton. Carrying the organizational color is the Marine representative for Kennedy High School, Staff Sergeant Jennifer Hannen. And holding our national colors is Sergeant Sergi Ledger. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please stand. The Kennedy High School Pep Band, under the direction of Mr. John Engebretson, will play our national anthem. Big thank you to the United States Marine Corps Color Guard. Also on the sidelines of the home team, we have representatives from the United States Army recruiting post. Thank you all for your service to our country. All right, let's meet the starting lineups for tonight's game. We'll begin with the starting offensive unit for the Islanders of DeLaSalle High School. Starting at wide receiver, junior number 1, TJ Logan. At wide receiver, junior number 8, Israel Moses Jr. At wide receiver, senior number 10, Amir Everett. At wide receiver, junior number 21, Aiden Higgins. At running back, junior number 28, Julius Jones. At quarterback, senior number 7, Brandon Hoban. On the offensive line, freshman number 60, Roman Tabor. On the offensive line, senior number 64, Finn Buffington. On the offensive line, sophomore number 65, Angel Roldan. On the offensive line, number 71, Lawrence Turkle. And on the offensive line, junior number 72, Ben Vessel. The head coach for the Islanders is Terrell McMoore. And now, the Kennedy High School football team wants to be introduced as a unit. Here you have them, the pride of the East Side, the Kennedy Eagles. Our officiating crew for tonight, the referee is Gordon Miraz. The umpire, Randy Bodeker. Linesman, Paul Drake. The line judge is Scott Schoaf, and the back judge is Tim Ware. And a reminder, fans, this game is being played under the rules of the Minnesota State High School League. These rules provide for fair play and good sportsmanship among the players.
We are ready to go. Students are ready to go. Great to see the student support for Kennedy football this year. What a week it's been for Kennedy as we welcome back in our crew, Paul Fournier. This is Josh Powers. Paul, what a week for Kennedy. Last Friday, They upset Southwest to win the district. How about those 2 soccer games last night? They trailed both Battle of Bloomington games. The girls came back, scored with about 10 minutes left to win. The boys scored twice in the last 90 seconds to win. And now Kennedy football, newly crowned district champs. And we're seeing the Eagles back at home in the white jerseys tonight. DeLaSalle in the black. Are you ready to go, Paul?
I'm ready to go, Josh.
All right, we're underway. I guess we don't have the choice. If we're ready or not, the game's going to go. As DeLaSalle returns this kickoff. And it's Israel Moses Jr. with a nice return.
Yeah, he muffed that catch there at the very beginning. Kennedy could have gotten down there and maybe stopped him a little bit earlier, but they didn't get down there quick enough, and he got a decent return off of that.
DeLaSalle's got 3 receivers with double-digit catches on the year, and that's one of them. Israel Moses Jr. They'll also mix in TJ Logan as a wide receiver, and of course we talked about him, Amir Everett playing wide receiver tonight. Their quarterback, Brandon Hoban, he's a senior this year, and his numbers, completion percentage 53.3%, 24 out of 45 this year, couple of touchdowns, no interceptions.
And that's key for Kennedy. They're going to want to change that tonight.
It's been a Kennedy secondary ball hawking this year. So first play, again, DeLaSalle in the black tonight, Kennedy in the all-white. Here's a long pass played, it's on the money to TJ Logan. He got behind the Kennedy secondary. Enoch DeBlaca was a step behind, and it's a chunk play to start things for the Islanders.
Yeah, big chunk of yards there for the Islanders. Kennedy, I think, they wanted to come out strong, and I think all the pomp and circumstance here at the beginning of the game got to him a little bit.
40-yard completion to TJ Logan, who is their leading receiver on the year, now with 295 yards on 11 catches. So when they throw it, they go for the bigger plays.
Sometimes that's what you got to do. Catch a team sleeping there on defense in their secondary, and that's what happened there for Kennedy.
Julius Jones is the running back to the left of Hogan, who's under pressure, just has to throw it away. Javon Davis was in the face of the quarterback. Good coverage downfield.
Yeah, very good coverage. And Kennedy's getting right after them there on that defensive line, and their linebackers got right back there.
And it's really the combination of such a strong defensive line this year for Kennedy, and then the coverage in the secondary. It's been with a young linebacker group, those 2 units up front and in the back, they've really stabilized this Kennedy defense.
Very much so, and most of them are juniors. Kennedy, a very young team, a lot of juniors on this team, not a very heavy senior-led team.
2nd and 10 for the Islanders as Hoban hands it off up the middle to Jones. He's got some running room inside the 20. Going to be short of the first down. Took it to about the 17-yard line, needed the 15, so it sets up a 3rd and short. First carry for the running back, Julius Jones. He's a junior coming into the game. Jones this year, just 70 yards on 31 attempts, so hasn't had a lot of running room this year, but he picks up a nice gain of 8 there.
Yeah, nice little gain of 8, get some good blocking down the field, and able to make a little cut back there at the very end to get a couple more yards right before Mr. Lynch for Kennedy got him.
3rd and 2, they give it to Jones trying to go wide, and he's going to be wrestled down short right at the line of scrimmage. So Kennedy forces a 4th down. And an interesting decision here for DeLaSalle head coach Terrell McMoore.
If I'm their head coach, I'm going for it. You're early in the game, you want to try to put points on the board, get ahead. It's something you haven't done all year, get ahead early, and we talked about that. You got a very talented offense here, and you can do that. Well,
that combined with the fact that they have not, at least according to our stats, registered a field goal attempt this year, but this might be the first
here we
one.
Go.
At least they're going to line up for it.
Josh, this end zone for away teams is not very good. Maybe if we can get the fans to start blowing, we can get it to go a little bit left.
Not much wind tonight at all, and this will be a 34-yard field goal officially. And it's plenty long, and it is plenty straight. No, actually no good, wow.
Okay.
That looked good from this viewpoint.
I agree. Up here too, Josh. It looked good.
We don't have the best view, obviously. The officials are right underneath the posts.
See if we can take a look here. Snap, kick.
Maybe missed left?
Maybe left, because it looked straight on to me, and it didn't look far right on my side of things.
Okay, so Kennedy.
So if you're the away team, don't kick at that end zone.
Yeah, we saw Apple Valley miss from about that distance to give Jefferson the win.
And in that defense for the Apple Valley, that game there was a little bit of rain, so there was a little bit of going against them there.
So Kennedy on offense for the first time. Zach Zesch, the senior quarterback, and what a year it's been for him. We'll get to his numbers in a moment. This first down play and the handoff to the running back, Eric Johnson, who lost the football, and DeLaSalle has it. One play and one turnover for Kennedy on offense.
That's something, again, you don't want to see. You got to keep your offense or defense off the field. Let them rest up here. We've seen them a lot with a lot of cramping lately. It's a cooler night. But, yeah, just right there on the handoff, never had it. I think Zesch thought about taking it at the very end there, and I think that just kind of threw him for a little bit of a loop there.
Kennedy, a gift here to DeLaSalle. We'll see if they can take advantage.
One thing to watch out for is they got Rajon Walker up there guarding Israel Moses at the end of their first drive. Those two are jawing at each other. The official had to break them up.
Hoping to throw under heavy pressure, and he's going to go down. Alex Lynch was in the area. Corey Bartholomew was in the area. I think Luke Dozian was also there, 83 for Kennedy.
I think anybody who had a white jersey on was in that area, except for their secondary. They got in there quickly. I don't think that he even had a chance to do anything. He got the snap, and all of a sudden the Eagles are right there.
How about Luke Dozian? We'll see him on the hockey ice this winter, on the lacrosse field this spring.
Got that half a step in there, and yeah, Luke Dozian in there.
As if Kennedy needs any more terrific athletes on the defensive line. They've got a bunch of them up there. 2nd and 15. Holman wants to throw again, dumps off a little screen. It's complete to Jones. He's got tacklers, and he's got a touchdown. We'll check the flag. It's right at the line of scrimmage.
It came right after the snap, so I couldn't tell what was going on.
It's got to be either an illegal formation on DeLaSalle or an offside on Kennedy.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah, it looks like it could go against DeLaSalle, so we'll take it. We'll take a listen to the official.
And it is an illegal formation. What a big-time penalty on DeLaSalle. Just lining up wrong costs you 6 points right there. And not only that, you lose some more yardage. Right now, probably not in field goal range.
Yeah, I mean, they're about where they were when they tried that field goal, a little bit to the left or to the right, depending on where you were standing. But, yeah, basically it helps out Kennedy there. They don't give up the touchdown.
Great call there, too, by Markel Pete as their offensive coordinator. But it goes for naught because of the penalty. Holben steps up under pressure again, slips out of one tackle. He'll gain a couple, but not much. To the 25-yard line.
Walker coming off of his, receiver to come up there and help make that tackle there. Once their quarterback got loose there, Holben got loose. It was without Walker coming up that middle there to cut it off, he might have been able to get a good chunk of yards there.
Well, they're on the edge of field goal range. It's 3rd down and 17.
Slips out of that one, and then Walker right there, he just makes a wise choice to just fall.
Holben will roll right under pressure and hit as he throws, and the ball is incomplete. Just out of the back of the end zone. That was a terrific throw from Holben under pressure as Aiden Higgins was in the area. He just ran out of room.
Just ran out of room. Throw was just a little too tall. And you see him try to drag his toe tips right here at the very end. He gets hit there, throws it, and just a touch too tall. And
I think his foot was out of bounds, didn't complete the catch anyway, Paul, but that was a great throw from Hoban under pressure from Marquez Monroe, and now it's 4th and 17. Field goal is 41 yards. Remember, they just tried a 34-yarder, so they'll go for it here, but they need a big chunk play again. Kennedy brings just 3, and the middle screen is incomplete, so the Kennedy defense coming up big after the Eagles gifted the Islanders the ball in the red zone. The Eagle defense turns them back.
Exactly. Kennedy's defense, like we said in the beginning of the game, that's kind of been their core all these years. They have a very solid defense, and they came up big twice. Now the offense just needs to get them a little bit of a breather here. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that again if something happens.
Well, your keys to the game here, get off to a quick start. Certainly not been the case for Kennedy. DeLaSalle's had a bunch of plays in Eagle territory already in the first 5 minutes, but they have 0 on the board. So play number 2 for Kennedy on offense. And it's Zesh on the handoff. Marquez Monroe in the backfield, going nowhere. He's ushered out of bounds. Gonna lose a couple. Seen limited duty for Monroe out of the backfield. That was carry number 14 this year. Had been averaging almost 10 yards a rush until there. Let's get to the numbers on Zesh, because he's just had a terrific senior year, Paul. 48 out of 83, 57.8%, 4 touchdowns, only 1 pick, and then running the ball, 213 yards, 7 touchdowns.
And that's where he gets you. He can run that quarterback option, and they do a fantastic job, and we got a flag here. And it looks like it's going to be on Kennedy. Offensive
lineman moved as Rajon Walker was headed in motion.
Second down.
So now 2nd and 18.
Yeah, when Zesh rushes, he's getting about 11 yards a rush. So only on 19 rushes, he's got 213 yards there. So when he gets mobile, he's very dangerous.
And those are most of them designed runs, not necessarily a guy that's looking to scramble for yards. So 2nd and very long handoff, Marquez. Trying to break a tackle. Boy, what a kick return he had a week ago against Southwest. Broke about 4 tackles. Made a couple more guys miss. As I told head coach Kedrick Walker on Tuesday, just put on a cape for that play. Here he gains about 4, and it'll be 3rd down and long.
He came walking right off the field there right at the end, so hopefully he's all right. But yeah, he's one of those tricky guys. He can get loose. He makes a couple of guys miss, and he's off to the races.
Was almost able to slip out of that tackle from Deshaun Harrison, wearing number 25 tonight, the linebacker. We talked about him at the top, the key guy there in the middle for the visitors. Perhaps the first throw of the night for Zesh as he fades under pressure and gets still loose. Zesh now looking downfield, drops it off, and it was dropped by Eric Johnson. Had some running room too. There is a flag right where Zesh got hit, so hang on. Could be a roughing the passer.
Johnson doesn't have any receiving yards listed, but you see Zesh here doing a great Patrick
Personal
Mahomes.
foul. Roughing the passer on the defense, number 22. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Now that hit didn't look late, Paul. That hit was pretty much right when Zesh got rid of it, but I wonder if he wasn't sort of body slammed to the ground for that roughing the passer call would be my guess.
That would be my guess too. He had him wrapped up, picked him up, and my guess is just like what you said, he just picked him up and then put him right back to the ground, put him into the ground, and instead of just giving him a little shove to let him know he's there.
But give Zesh credit. He broke 2 tackles there, and just by keeping that play alive resulted in that penalty. And instead of DeLaSalle probably taking over in Kennedy territory, the Eagles have a first down near the 40. Back on the ground, Eric Johnson after that first play fumble. He's got near a first down. So there goes Johnson We saw him do some nice things a week ago against Southwest. 34 carries this year, 174 yards. He was over 5 yards an attempt. Hasn't scored yet this year, but he's been consistent.
Very consistent, trying to make up for what he's done already. He had one fumble earlier this year, so that's his second fumble that he had on that first drive. Hopefully he can put it behind him, and Kennedy can keep moving this ball down the field here as they just move the chains again.
Fresh set for Kennedy, near midfield. They go back to Johnson, right side this time. Bounces off a tackler, just does creep across or right at the midfield line for the Eagles. Second down and 8, 4:35 left, first quarter. Josh Powers alongside Paul Fournier. We expect Mark Hultgren too at some point to help cover this Kennedy homecoming. Stick around for that at the half. A fun night for Kennedy, at least we're hoping so, hoping it's punctuated with an Eagle win, which would be huge. 4 wins it would get them to in the regular season, just 2 losses. Zesh with the keeper. Tried to make a man miss, could not at the 48-yard line. Sets up a 3rd and 5 for Kennedy.
And that's what Zesh does. He can make a play happen and kind of trick him into doing something. We had Coach Moffitt on Inside Kennedy Football last Tuesday, and he's the quarterback's coach, and he told me a couple weeks ago that Zach this year is just playing and having fun. Something he hasn't had a good chance to do, and now he's able to do it, and that's what's leading to a lot of his success this year.
That was a big tackle by Israel Moses Jr. There was nobody but him over there for DeLaSalle. So 3rd and 5 for Kennedy. From the pistol, Zach Zesh. Straight drop over the middle, deep shot, Ray Jean overthrown.
You almost wonder if there was a little bit of a miscommunication there. Ray Jean cut into the middle and slowing up there as that ball was launched about 5 or 7 yards past him.
Decision time for Kedrick Williams. This was too far, it looks like, and I like this call, Paul. You've been
I do too.
Battling field position problems all game. I know it's tempting to go for it here, a 4th and medium, but I like this decision, trying to pin the Islanders back deep and start flipping that field a little bit.
Yeah, this defense, the way they've been playing so far, very explosive. You know, punch them in, push them back. You know, send everybody at the quarterback here on that first play and see if you can get a safety and maybe get some points on the board that way.
Christopher Martin is the punter for Kennedy. Snap is on target and a nice high kick from Martin. Plenty of time to get that coverage down there, and it'll roll inside the 20. So after 2 drives into Kennedy territory, DeLaSalle will have to go a ways to get there for a 3rd time with 3:04 left in the first quarter. We'll also be spotlighting Kennedy seniors throughout the game. Today we have 9 of them on the docket lined up, so stay tuned for that throughout our broadcast, a tradition here on BEC-TV for both Kennedy and Jefferson.
And we will see they have 14 seniors listed on their roster, so whoever we don't see tonight, we'll see in a couple weeks when they're back at home for their season finale.
Saw Toby Somsaxi get down there and cover that punt for the Eagles. So from their own 18-yard line, DeLaSalle, their 3rd possession. Outside of that 40-yard pass, I know that's still a big chunk play. You can't take it away, but hasn't been much going for the offense for the Islanders.
Not at all. This Kennedy defense kind of locked down right after that play.
Hoban to throw a little wide receiver screen. It's caught, and they get it to their top guy, Israel Moses Jr., and you see his shiftiness. Tall guy, 6'3", 175, and he's near a 1st down.
So Elijah Smith there trying to make that first tackle and kind of did more of a push, couldn't get his arms wrapped around him, as you see Smith coming off right there and doesn't get his arm wrapped around him all the way, and you see Walker coming in and making sure he gets out of bounds so he can't get any more yards.
Goes for a gain of 9. I think the quick passing game is what's going to help DeLaSalle in this game with all the Kennedy pressure. They need to get that ball out quickly. Get it to those playmakers like Israel Moses. 2nd and 1 for Hoban. Another quick wide receiver screen caught by TJ Logan. Picks up a block, has a first down out to the 39-yard line. So they gain 12 there. Kennedy may have to adjust defensively to what DeLaSalle is doing with these quick wide receiver screens.
Yeah, they get it out quickly, and they get their blockers out there too as well. So it's, you know, they get a couple of receivers out there to start blocking, and Kennedy's defense has to come across the field to make a tackle.
So another first down for DeLaSalle. On the move with 2:20 remaining first quarter here on homecoming. The dance, by the way, for Kennedy is after this football game. Here's a nice tackle. Rajon Walker wraps up his man after a short gain. It was caught by Ray James Jr., a sophomore, the fourth wide receiver for DeLaSalle. So they're going through their options. It's a gain of 3 there.
A big gain of 3. Walker coming up big. I was just taking a quick look. Kennedy's only given up 14 points here in the first quarter. DeLaSalle's only scored 13 overall this year in the first quarter. So, like you said in the beginning, it's not gonna be a big blowout game for either team. It's gonna be a nitty-gritty game. It's gonna be whoever can get a couple more points on the board and maybe come up with a creative way to do it.
2nd and 7. For Brandon Hoban, the senior quarterback, under heavy pressure and roped down. Christopher Martin with the sack.
Saw it coming. Chris Martin there coming in with Anthony Wright Ponder, and Anthony Ponder gets taken out, and so does Luke Dozian, and then Chris Martin there coming up big with that big sack.
Big loss, goes from 2nd and 7 to 3rd and 18. Second sack for the Eagles already. Coach Christopher Martin, what a season he has had. He has just been a terror defensively. So 3rd and 18, we've seen a middle screen on 3rd and long. Hoban on the move, downfield, nearly intercepted. Closest to it was David Avilas Rizzo, harmlessly falls to the turf. Islanders forced to punt here on 4th down.
Kennedy super fans getting the crowd pumped up here right now. It got a little bit loud there. But it's a very big crowd here for a football game tonight. Again, you said it's a beautiful night. The temperature dropped. The humidity has dropped. There's a slight breeze, but not enough to cause anything. And you know, they've been trying to get the community to rally behind these Eagles, and right now tonight, with the way the stands are looking, they're rallied behind the Eagles.
Remember, Kennedy blocked a punt last week for a touchdown. Special teams was huge. They also added a field goal and a kick return TD. This punt, they get it away. Rajon Walker back deep. They were coming on the punt block, so he lets it bounce. Takes a nice little Kennedy bounce. Dead at the 43-yard line. So Zach Zesch coming back out with the offense. Let's do the Zach Zesch senior spotlight here as he comes back out. 6 foot, 175 pounds. His favorite football player, Brett Favre, legendary quarterback. Favorite food is hamburgers. He has some favorite coach on the team. Coach Moffitt is quarterback coach, and Coach Shelton says his favorite movie is Remember the Titans. Favorite memory for Zach is beating Southwest and then the rain pouring down to get that district title last week. Player he most respects on the team is Nate Ledoux. As Zach fumbles here, he'll have to cover it and does quickly. Goals for the season, Zach says, to win a section game. He's going to attend North Dakota State next year for exercise science. And he is an only child. Something interesting there about Zach Zesch, the senior quarterback. Just having a great year.
Great year, you know, minus a couple of little things here and there. He's able to fall there on that ball, but North Dakota State, their quarterback powerhouse seems to be lately. So it'll be interesting to see if he goes up there and he plays any football up there as well.
We've reached the end of one here, scoreless. Kennedy and DeLaSalle. Look at the section standings, Paul. And this is according to the QRF. We talked about St. Thomas Academy. They're positioned well, undefeated at 5-0. They've cracked the Metro top 10. And they have a pretty healthy lead on Kennedy. They have 85.1 QRF points. Kennedy's second with that 3-2 record, 65 points. They're top 20 overall in Class 5. Then you look down in third right now, Hastings at 57 QRF points. And then quite a bit of separation between the Raiders and fourth, Jefferson at 29.4. So Kennedy's going to be big Jefferson fans next week, I think, when the Jaguars play Hastings.
They might have to be. And Kennedy knows Hastings pretty well. They went down there last year for a playoff game and ended up not being able to pull out that victory, but that was a very closely fought game for the Eagles when they went down to Hastings.
Then you've got Apple Valley and Two Rivers. And why this positioning is important for Kennedy, those top two teams get a first-round bye in the playoffs. Teams 3 through 6 have to play. So they'd love to keep ahead of Hastings, and I think that's the goal. Certainly at this point, you'd think they would stay above Jefferson at fourth or whoever else near the bottom there, Apple Valley and Two Rivers. But that's going to be the big question here for Kennedy. Can they stay above Hastings in section? They don't play the Raiders this year. So a couple more wins for Kennedy you would think would be able to wrap up that second position.
Yeah, a win next week against SMB, a decent team up there. They aren't as strong as they were a few years ago, but another team that's high up there. They can win tonight. They can win next week. I think they can lock that number 2 spot up.
3rd and 13 for Kennedy. Zesh slings it for Toby Samsaxi, and it's incomplete. He's got it over the hand of Israel Moses Jr. to avoid an interception, but Kennedy has to punt again.
Quick update from the Jefferson game. Jefferson down 7-0 right now.
And if they needed any more rooting interest against the Jaguars, Kennedy will cheer on the opponent of Jefferson, as it would certainly push down a fellow section team down in the standings with a loss. Great to see the Eagle students out in full force for this game.
It's a wonderful thing. Full force, everybody's out here having a good time. Coach Williams is not happy now.
They ran on Roman Hauk late. He has to burn a
Timeout.
timeout.
Kennedy, that is their first.
To avoid a penalty. So not the best start for Kennedy, but still tied right now with DeLaSalle, a team that we've talked about it. They're 0-5, so you might think, well, this is going to be an easy game, but they had a close loss against St. Anthony. They played Park Center to a 39-10 game. Remember, Kennedy also played Park Center, lost 37-6. So a very similar score there. And some of the other DeLaSalle opponents, Mound West Tonka, a very good team. Minneapolis North, certainly an upper echelon team in their class. So a little bit tricky, that 0-5 record for the Islanders this year.
Yeah, and Minneapolis North in their section, I believe it's Class 4A. They are like the number 4 team. They're 4-1, so they're a powerhouse that was on the up and up, and they're still on the up and up there at Minneapolis North, the Polars.
So Christopher Martin will head back in punt formation. 2 returners for DeLaSalle, including Israel Moses. He's here on the near side. There's some Islander fans. Beautiful location there just outside of downtown Minneapolis for DeLaSalle. Punt from Martin, lost his shoe. His punt nearly hit Amir Everett, and Kennedy touches it dead at the 30-yard line. That was interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. That shoe from Christopher Martin went about 25 feet in the air as well.
It did. I looked up for a second, and all of a sudden I was like, that ball was not punted very well. I realized that was a shoe. Once I saw it.
There's the shoe. There's the shoe falling, and then there's the ball. Covered by Javon Davis.
maybe a little tactic by Kennedy, throw the shoe out there to decoy, think it's the ball, and have the ball hit a player.
That would be hard to execute if in fact that was the plan. Okay, so DeLaSalle for the 4th time on offense. So 4 possessions, less than 15 minutes in. Little wide receiver screen again, and it's Everett. And it's spun out of bounds by Sam Saxey at the 34-yard line for a gain of 4. First catch for Amir Everett. We talked about him, the senior. Kind of does a little bit of everything. He's had to play quarterback this year. He's had about 100 yards of rushing, as you said, Paul, and he's also a pretty darn good receiver.
Very good receiver. I think we have him listed here at 195 receiving yards on 11 receptions. According to our stats, he's only played 2 games as a receiver, so he's averaging 17 yards, or almost 18 yards of reception, so we'll see how Kennedy's able to control him for the rest of the night.
Hoban, wide snap, corrals with one hand, got the ball out to TJ Logan. He'll pick up 4 more. It'll be 3rd and 2. Kennedy rallying to the football, and I think you saw that last possession, Paul. After that sack, they have continued that short, quick passing game. They just can't afford to drop back against this Kennedy D-line.
Yeah, the D-line is just swallowing everything up right there, and you know, they saw what was happening on defense. They made a very smart offensive adjustment there to try to make some positive yards happen, and so far it's been working in the Islanders' favor. Luckily, Kennedy's defense has been able to kind of get to them, but Kennedy's defense is going to have to start trying to wrap them up, especially that secondary. Just grabbing them by the hands is not going to take them down. And we got a weird formation here, Josh.
Yeah, Wildcat with Ray James Jr., number 13, the quarterback here on 3rd and 2. High snap, heads up field, and has the first down. So the sophomore, Ray James Jr., 6th rushing attempt of the season, results in a first down for the Islanders.
Kind of catching everybody off guard there.
Under 9 minutes left, first half. Not much going offensively for Kennedy. So far, the defense has been hanging in there.
Coached by Jay Robinson, been a defensive coordinator for a few years with Coach Williams here at Kennedy. He's done a outstanding job with this defensive team.
Brandon Hoban back to throw again, under pressure, deep shot for Moses, incomplete, or for Logan, excuse me, incomplete. So Logan was able to get behind the defense, but it had to be a perfect throw, and it was a bit too far.
Did a great job there, just a little bit out of the reach on that throw with that secondary. Kennedy's got burned on it earlier, and they, been doing those short passes this entire time, and now they try to go over the top, and luckily Kennedy was able to be out there and almost stride for stride with them. I think the speed of the receivers here for the Islanders is just a little bit more than the Eagles.
You know, just 4 rushing attempts for DeLaSalle, 11 pass attempts already. Hoban again slings it out this way, caught by Everett, makes a move, has a first down. Everett down the sidelines into Kennedy territory. 35-yard line. It's a gain of 21 for Amir Everett.
Like we said, they got to wrap the players up and try to tackle them. Kennedy's just kind of going for the fingertips right now. Coach Williams is letting them know that right now on the sideline. It was Elijah Smith he was talking to.
I think if you're Kennedy, you need to adjust here and try to take away some of these shorter, quicker throws.
And you almost wonder, because Kennedy's defense being so stout up the middle, they take away that run game. The Islanders saying, well, we'll just up you when we'll go with a short pass. It works almost as well as a run game.
There's another one. Logan in space. They get these guys one-on-one, and
fumble.
Lost the football. Picked up by the Islanders. Inside the 10. It bounced right to Aiden Higgins. First and goal, DeLaSalle.
That was a lucky bounce for the Islanders. bounced right up into the arms there of the other player, and it didn't look like he tried to fumble it and throw it forward, which would then
it just happened naturally.
To bounce. So
yeah. Credit Higgins, he was in the right spot and saw it happen.
That almost happened to Kennedy a few weeks ago, but it happened to I believe Mr. January from Richfield. The ball bounced right in front of him on a fumble, picked it up and got a handful more yards.
29 yards it goes for, and it's 1st and goal at the 5. Julius Jones up the middle. Not much there. Just got back to the line of scrimmage, so we'll see if the defense can come up big again. That's 3 carries for Julius Jones for 8 yards. DeLaSalle has not gotten anything going on the ground. It's all these short, quick passes that have been connecting. It's already 8 completions in this first half for Hoban. Just 24 of them on the year. I know he missed a couple of games. They've certainly thrown the ball a lot more than their numbers have shown so far this year. It's been successful. Here's 2nd and goal. Hoban to throw, a little wide receiver screen, dropped by Moses.
Very lucky there that wasn't a backwards pass, but if you find your niche on your passing there, if you're not going to be able to beat them over the top, but you can make those short yard passes, just keep going with it. Pass just forward enough.
Rajon Walker was in the area. So now 3rd and goal from the 5. Just about midway through the 2nd quarter. Kennedy defense has already turned away DeLaSalle twice in its own territory. Hoban from the gun, under pressure from a blitz, floats it out, incomplete. Good coverage over there from Elijah Smith, who was right there with Ray James Jr., and it's 4th down.
Great no call there too. Both players going after the ball, shoving both ways. Kennedy wishes maybe that didn't happen a couple weeks ago, and you get a different outcome in that Richfield game.
So 4th down here. Remember, they've already attempted a 34-yard field goal, so certainly well within range, and that 34-yarder had plenty on it. They're going to go here, DeLaSalle. They want the touchdown. Hoban sets up from the gun with 4 wide. Kennedy blitzes again. Throw to the corner. The end zone caught for the touchdown. TJ Logan got wide open as Kennedy brought everyone.
They brought everybody. Coach Williams was trying to get their defense set, and he just snuck right past everybody. Was wide open there in the end zone. DeLaSalle, that's 20 points for them total in the 2nd half on the year. Possibly 21 here, depending on what happens on this extra point.
See, the Eagles brought everyone, and Logan is wide open, and Hoban saw where the gap in the defense was. It's the 2nd touchdown reception for TJ Logan. DeLaSalle out front here, trying to spoil homecoming. And it's Aiden Higgins. He missed that field goal earlier. The wide receiver, also their kicker. And the extra point is good.
So 21 points they've scored on this season so far in the 2nd quarter.
And that drive, Paul, 1 run for 0 yards. The rest were throws.
And like I was saying, those short wide receiver screens work almost as well as a run. You can hit them out, you get all the blockers out there, and you're good to go. And they got a great receiving core there on the Islanders bench, and they got a lot of speed, a lot of talent, and they're able to do a lot of damage there. Put some points on this Kennedy defense, which needs a break. They've been on the field a lot so far today.
Yeah, Hoban is already 9 out of 16 for 127 yards in this game. There's still half of a 2nd quarter left. So Kennedy's going to need to adjust.
See Marquez Monroe going out there. So whatever injury he had earlier is good enough to go back out there and play.
See if special teams can boost Kennedy again.
If I'm Kennedy, I'm watching out for maybe a short kick just in case the Islanders try to catch them off guard.
We'll see if they kick it to Marquez Monroe too. They are going to boot it deep. This is a nice kick. It's going to reach the end zone. Kennedy will start from the 25-yard line. How about senior spotlight time for the Kennedy defense? Alex Lynch, the linebacker, 6'2", 180 pounds. His favorite football player is Myles Garrett.
Smart guy to watch out for.
Yeah, there's Alex. Favorite food, ice cream. Coach Shelton is his favorite coach on the team. His favorite movie, Rango. Interesting choice there. Favorite football memory is 40 balling Washburn. That means they put up 40 points on Washburn earlier this year. Player that he most respects on the team, Zach Zesch. Goals for the season, beat Jefferson. We'll see if they get a chance to do it. He's going to go to college next year, not sure where yet. He used to play offensive line, something interesting about Alex Lynch. So there you go. I like the goal. We just don't know if the goal can be accomplished. They'll have to take a little bit of good luck to face Jefferson.
Once they went
but wouldn't it be great if that could happen?
Be a great thing if they could happen. You know, once they went to the districts, kind of throughout that Battle of Bloomington on the football field tonight, where everybody in the town, all the eyes came here to Bloomington Stadium to watch it, and it's been unfortunate that they have not been able to play on the football field.
3-yard gain for Marquez Monroe on first down. Gunther Johnson not ever got set. Flag on Kennedy. This is going to wipe away a first down. He was just out there kind of jogging around. He didn't know where to line up. Looked like he was jogging toward the sidelines to come off the field, then started going back toward the line of scrimmage. It's an obvious penalty here on Kennedy.
Illegal motion against the offense, number 23. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second down.
I said 23. Marquez Monroe was like, I wasn't moving. No, it was number 30, Gunther Johnson. Don't worry, Marquez.
Making sure he gets the right name. And interesting that these fans have these little red footballs that have been thrown. I've seen 2 of them fly onto the field now. We've got to make sure something doesn't happen to a player, you know, something happened during an actual play here.
Would have been the first completion of the game, too, for Zesch. Instead of a first down, 2nd and 12. Handoff, Javon Davis, nowhere to go. Wrapped up by DJ Simmons, the linebacker, number 22. It's a loss of 2.
Kennedy right now just looking tired. They haven't had the ball. They can't seem to get anything going. They came off that big win against Southwest. They, you know, I think they looked a little bit too far ahead, and they saw an 0-5 team. They thought they would maybe roll to a quick victory, and they're playing with a lack of energy right now, and they got to get that going here.
3rd and long, not the recipe for success for any team. Kennedy facing a 3rd and 15 here. Zesch rolling, hit as he throws, incomplete. That was good coverage and good pressure by DeLaSalle, who's come to play tonight.
Can't make any week easy. DeLaSalle 0-5, but like we said, they played similar teams to Kennedy, and they've come to a couple similar outcomes to Kennedy.
Now they're going to get the ball with great field position. They've got TJ Logan and Israel Moses Jr. back deep, standing at about midfield.
See if Christopher Martin's shoe stays on this time.
3rd punt already for Martin. Only 4 minutes and change left in this first half. Has to wait for the block there to avoid the block. Then got off the punt. That was a moment of patience and calm from Christopher Martin when they needed it. And it's a 38-yard punt as well. Huge play there.
Very heads-up play, very calm on that. I don't know if Coach Williams was as calm on the sideline when he saw that, but you know, very heads-up play by Chris Martin. Knows how to play the game well, plays on all sides of the ball. And
that was the right decision to just let that kind of guy go through. Kennedy had a blocker there. And they can breathe a little bit more of a sigh of relief, although DeLaSalle starts near midfield. This is a big drive, Paul. Kennedy will get the ball to start the second half, but they'd love to be maybe only a touchdown down, or if they can get it back here, maybe even, but not 2 scores.
Yeah, getting down 2 scores in a game like this, when you look depleted and empty, tank empty before the game starts, isn't going to help you.
They'll hand it off to Julius Jones. Still can't really get anything going on the ground, maybe a yard. They'll mark him actually at the line of scrimmage.
Siobhan Davis there, number 24, in there getting dragged. Doing everything he can to just hold on and hope another couple Eagles come over to help make the tackle.
So second down for DeLaSalle. 2 timeouts left for Kennedy. DeLaSalle all 3 in no hurry here with the lead. And the Islanders 0-5 on the year. They've got Minneapolis Southwest on the schedule next, so not an easy game next week as well. Hoban on 2nd and 10. Quick screen, complete. There's the adjustment for Kennedy. They were all over that. Israel Moses Jr. only able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Javon Davis, they're making sure he wrapped up that tackle. Something that we haven't, they've been going for the arm tackles earlier and they haven't been able to make them, and right there wraps him up, takes him down.
So 3rd down and 10. Remember, DeLaSalle's touchdown came on a 4th and goal from the 5 as that gamble paid off last drive. It's a difference in this one so far.
On a lucky bounce for them on that
true.
fumble.
That got him down to the 5 on that fumble. Good point by you, Paul. That could have easily been Kennedy football there. 3rd down and long. Martin coming on the blitz, and they get home, although Hoban escapes.
How?
Now on the run and just has to throw it away. Leanthony Wright Ponder was about to bring him down for maybe this almost the 2nd time on that play. So Kennedy gets 3 and out they were looking for.
Yeah, doing his best Zach Zesch impression over there. Don't know how he didn't get brought down on the first attempt, but that was could have gotten very bad for Kennedy there. But luckily their defense comes up strong and is able to hold on.
Yeah, good coverage downfield despite Hoban able to get away from that initial trouble. So back deep, Rajon Walker for Kennedy. About his own 17-yard line as DeLaSalle will try to pin Kennedy deep. Here's the kick, and it's a good one. Walker comes up, fields it on the run, and immediately hit down at the 21-yard line. So Kennedy 2:28, 2 timeouts. Remember, they get the ball to start the second half.
Rajon Walker there a couple weeks ago with that weird not receiving the punt, almost trying to make something happen when he probably should have just fair caught it. And, luckily he held on to make a play. That would have been disastrous too for Kennedy.
Kennedy right now, can they get anything going on the ground? They also don't have a completion in this game. Yards have been tough to come by in this first half for the Eagles after putting up 30 points last week. Inside handoff, Eric Johnson. That almost got all mixed up with the exchange. Johnson is able to get out to the 25 for a gain of 4.
Gets out there, and Zesch, I wonder if was thinking maybe I'm going to hold on to it, try to read that, because the way he took off and the way Johnson took it, I think Johnson was expecting him to pull it back and then just grabbed it and ran with it.
Under 2 minutes left. Remember, DeLaSalle has all 3 timeouts. If they could get a stop here, they would get one more chance in the first half. Zesch from the pistol as the Islanders showing blitz. Here they come. Zesch, quick out, got it to Dojin. First catch of the year, I believe, for Luke Dojin. Does get the first down they need. We'll see if Kennedy goes a little bit quicker here on offense with this first down.
We'll see how they do, but it looks like they're going as quickly as they can right now. Huddle up, get the play. Zesh commanding that offense right now.
First completion of the game for Zesh comes with 90 seconds remaining in the half. Zesh will throw again under pressure, floats it out, and it was incomplete.
Dangerous throw there. A couple defenders there almost getting the interception.
Stops the clock with 1:16. It was intended for Walker, as you said, Paul. Very surprised. Kennedy's ground game not able to get going. The Islanders, they were gashed last week against Minneapolis North for over 350 yards rushing allowed. Gave up over 200 the previous week to Mound West Tonka. Not much for Kennedy on the ground in this game. Zesh caught by Elijah Smith and then tumbled down by Israel Moses Jr. And I think DeLaSalle takes a timeout here. Kennedy facing 3rd and long.
That's a smart idea. 3rd and long, maybe come up big here, take another timeout.
Timeout. DeLaSalle.
First catch of the game for Elijah Smith. 3rd and 10 upcoming for Kennedy. Stick around at the half. We'll have the homecoming coronation. About 1:08 away. We spotlight another Kennedy senior. How about number 14, Toby Somsaxi, the senior receiver and defensive back. 5'8", 145 pounds. Favorite football player, Odell Beckham Jr. Also loves burgers, his favorite food. Favorite coach on the team, he says all of them. I met Coach K and Coach Moffitt when I was a kid, around 6th grade. Coach Hamilton and Shelton have always encouraged me when I was down. Good to see he has a great relationship with a lot of different coaches. His favorite movie, loves Creed 1 and Creed 2. His favorite football memory, the seniors and I last season together. He is enjoying it this year. His player he most respects on the team is Tony Torres. Wants to have at least 1 catch per game, needs to still get that here tonight to achieve that goal. Something interesting about Toby, he's addicted to cars. He loves cars and is into that car enthusiast scene. So there you go, Toby Somsaxi, number 14.
Saw him a couple weeks ago on Inside Kennedy Football, an all-around great guy.
3rd and 10, Kennedy could use a big play late in the half. Zesh has plenty of time, deep shot! Oh! Incomplete, it was there. Elijah Smith was breaking open behind the defense.
About a step or two just too short on that throw, or on that.
So a chance missed there for Kennedy, and now with 1:03 left, Islanders are gonna get it back. With still 2 timeouts. Remember the last punt, Christopher Martin had to sidestep a DeLaSalle player to get it off. You got the dangerous duo of Moses and Logan back deep. High kick from Martin. This will negate any return. And it takes a bounce. Actually, Moses, it comes right to him. He picks it up, and look out. Israel Moses picks up a block.
Now
Down the
want a couple
sideline.
flags. That's coming
A
back.
flag down,
3.
a couple of flags.
There's a couple blindside blocks, I think.
And there's a flag all the way back at the DeLaSalle 35-yard line. Less said as the ball is in the air, this is going to negate any return, but then watch this bounce. A couple of hops right to Moses. No choice really just to just pick it up. And there's one blindside block. You'll see another one here coming up as well.
Maybe one
There's
on
the other
Kennedy
one.
and one there, right? Yeah.
Christopher Martin saved the touchdown, but he was coming back anyway.
On the return, illegal blindside block against the receiving team, number 3, 15-yard penalty, first down.
From that first one was all the way back in DeLaSalle territory, plus the attack on 15. And you would think now, with a 7-point lead and the ball inside their own 20, it would be kneel down time for the Islanders. What a couple of big penalties on DeLaSalle. Remember on their opening drive, they had a touchdown called back due to a penalty, then missed that field goal. And there, they would have started inside the Kennedy 20-yard line. And those blindside blocks, those aren't blocks that made that play happen, Paul. Those are blocks after Moses had already reached that area and were unnecessary to spring him.
Yeah, very unnecessary. Coach McMorrow over there frustrated. You know, he had almost a minute to go after that punt, and ended up running about 20 seconds off. So now he's got 43 seconds to try to go down the field here. They're going to try to go explosive over the top.
Maybe. They still have a couple timeouts. Here's a pass down the sidelines, and it is
incomplete. I think he dropped it.
Kennedy thinks it was incomplete, and it was. Just unable to hang on was Higgins, but that was a perfect throw from Hoban. That was pass attempt already number 19 for Brandon Hoban in this game. Still in the first half. Reminder, coming up at the half, we'll try to catch up with Kennedy head coach Kedrick Williams, and we'll have the homecoming royalty announced, class of 2021 at halftime. 2nd and 10 for the visitors, up by a touchdown. We'll see if they take another shot here. Kennedy, by the way, also with 2 timeouts left. They could potentially get the ball back with an incompletion or 2 here more. Here's Hoban, right side. Pass caught. This will be a first down. That'll stop the clock.
There's a timeout right there by the coach.
There's Higgins with the catch. He'll gain 11. Tackled there by Avilas Rizzo. DeLaSalle left with 1 timeout.
Timeout. DeLaSalle, that is their 2nd of the half.
Higgins with his 2nd catch. Hoban now 11 out of 20. 138 yards and a touchdown. What a half he has had. And again, with nothing on the ground outside of that 5-yard run by their Wildcat quarterback. It has been all throws here for the Islanders. We'll see what Kennedy can do to adjust. It's a pretty good secondary. But DeLaSalle, credit them, Paul. They've got some playmakers on the edge, which we talked about at the top of the show, including guys like Everett. We've seen Moses, TJ Logan, Higgins, all on the outside making plays for them.
Yeah, everybody on the Islanders bench right now is making a big play. They're trying to play upset day. You're getting a team that's coming off a big win with Kennedy over Southwest. Maybe try to catch them just a little bit off guard here, and so far they've done that.
And how about the confidence here for head coach Terrell McMorrow? And yes, you certainly have had success throwing the ball here, but this is risky. There's not a lot of time left. You still have a long ways to go just to even get into field goal range, let alone a touchdown. A lot of bad things could happen here to DeLaSalle, a team still looking for its first win of the year.
They can, but they've had a couple successful plays across the top, so maybe they're going to try to catch Kennedy, maybe sneaking up a little bit on that secondary and get somebody behind him. I think the receivers for the Islanders are just a little bit faster than Kennedy.
Kennedy brings 4. Hoban, most time he's had to throw, dumps it off, complete to Everett, and he'll coast out of bounds. 21.5 seconds left at the 39-yard line. Good enough for 13 yards, another first down. Kennedy will give up that play, though. That's not a negative right there for the Eagles to give that one up. You took about 8 seconds off the clock, and DeLaSalle still has a long way to go.
They have a very long way to go. They, would try to stop them inbounds, but, I'd rather have them play a prevent defense. Don't allow a big play down the field, let something happen over the middle, and make them try to run out of bounds, take off a little bit more time before.
People hate that prevent, but when there's only 21.5 seconds to go and you don't have a NFL kicker out there, prevent is totally acceptable. Here's 1st and 10 from the 39. Hoban under pressure, gets out of the pocket and floats it incomplete. just before he went out of play. Now down to just 15.9 left. Good coverage there by the Eagles and good pressure up front.
Yeah, great pressure, got him to scramble a little bit. TJ Logan luckily was standing right there, so they didn't get any sort of intentional grounding calls or anything. And Kennedy, nice job not hitting him out of bounds because it looked like it came very close there.
Luke Dozian again with the pressure. Haven't seen much from Dozian this year. We'll ask Coach Williams about him on Tuesday on Inside Kennedy Football, but he's one of those guys that stood out in this first half that has not had a lot of positive check marks for Kennedy. So Hoban with just under 16 seconds left. Second down, steps up in the pocket, middle shot, caught. Logan, and a nice tackle right there by DeBlaca because there's a lot of green behind him. If Enoch doesn't bring him down there, forces DeLaSalle to use the timeout. It's their last one with 7.1 left.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the way he kind of let the receiver run him a little bit there, knowing that the clock was getting over or running down, so
that is their final timeout of the half.
So he could try to run off as much time there by DeBlaca.
Meanwhile, that's the 5th catch for Logan. 76 yards plus the touchdown. What a half for him. And if you're DeLaSalle here, with just 7 seconds left, probably not going to get into field goal range and also be able to stop the clock, Paul. Just too much time to get all the way downfield. They're going to need another at least 20 to 25 yards. So I think here you either throw it into the end zone for the final time or maybe you dump one off short out of bounds and then take your shot, I think are the two options here for the Islanders.
Yeah, I think they're going to, I don't know, but I have a feeling they're going to try to go deep here.
Hoban looks like he has probably a good enough arm close to midfield. He can maybe reach the end zone.
And even if he doesn't reach the end zone, he's got enough receivers that he can just, even if he gets him at, the 15, they can do some magic out there and maybe make something happen that way.
So Kennedy's got their safety valves not too terribly deep. They're about 15 yards back of the line of scrimmage. You see DeBlaca there and Marquez Monroe now on the back pedal as it's floated out here, and it's going to be incomplete. That pass was out of bounds. 0.4 of a second is all that's left. One final play here for the Islanders, hopefully for Kennedy.
Yeah.
Not a bad location for that ball from Hoban, just needed about another yard or two inside the out-of-bounds line, the sideline there.
It's the white line, the white solid line, not to be confused with the yellow line or the white dotted line that we've been playing with soccer being here this year.
So a final heave, perhaps, here for Hoban. This would be pass attempt number 25 in the first half for Brandon Hoban.
I like the calls here by Coach McMorr on the Islanders bench. You have an 0-5 record. You're up in a game you shouldn't be up in and been having as much success as you are. I'm glad he hasn't just taken a knee to run the clock down.
Final play of the half. Hoban trying to escape the reach of Anthony Wright Ponder, and he really couldn't. Just had to fling it out of bounds. So
receiver
a nice
is
job
outside the packet. That is half.
So a nice job there from Wright Ponder to not let Hoban get around the edge. But the visitors from DeLaSalle, they're 0-5. Didn't play like it there in the first half, Paul, especially defensively. I thought they were terrific in this game, certainly holding Kennedy scoreless through one half.
Yeah, Kennedy scoreless. Kennedy not able to do really anything on offense to make anything happen. They couldn't rush the ball. They couldn't really throw the ball. It was just very tough. So we're going to throw it down to Mark Hulkren here, sitting by with Coach Williams. Mark?
Hey, thanks. Down here with Coach Williams on the field. Homecoming coach brings a lot of excitement to the kids. Does it take a little energy out of the kids in the first half?
Well, that's what it is. We came out flat. We have a quarterback that we haven't seen on film before. That's a new guy that they have over there. So, they're throwing a lot more than what we saw in their 5 previous games. So we just have to go in the half and adjust to it.
Nice catch by Dozian. How do we get him more in the offense?
Well, it's about, spreading that thing around. We have so many athletes. Luke just joined us this week. So it's just about spreading the ball around and doing what we've done for the last 5 weeks.
You got a nice looking team here. Let's give me some ideas of what's going to happen here in the second half.
Got to run the ball more.
All right.
Run the ball down the threat. That's what's going to happen.
Good luck. Thanks, Coach. Yep, back up to you guys.
Appreciate that, Mark. Let's send it down now. It's the Kennedy Homecoming ceremony. Let's meet the royalty, class of 2021, as we send it down to Joe Mavison.
As classmates who best represent the values of Kennedy High School, specifically those of equity and humanity. It is my pleasure to introduce the freshman class representatives, Maya Nikwaye, Jory Hauk, Darren Chatterpaul. Our sophomore class representatives, Catherine Edmonds, Kayla Jones, and Yaqub Abdiwahab. Our junior class representatives, Jordan Moore, Rachel Lansdale, and Naima Musa Jaketi. Finally, our senior class representatives, Brian Diaz Jimenez, Brian Torres Casillas, Candace Liu, Chris Martin, Diego Fuentes Rodriguez, Elijah Blasingame, Elijah Kraft Baidu, Julia Ohm, Molly Fortner, and the top 3 vote getters for class representatives from the senior class of 2022, Annabelle Sahadio, Somi Nasude, and unable to be with us, Spuds Larson. There you have them, the Kennedy Homecoming class representatives. A big round of applause for these student leaders. Next up, we have a performance by Rhythm and Gold. Rhythm and Gold is under the direction of Nikki Jordan. We hope you enjoy the performance. Stadium Rhythm and Gold. Next on the agenda, the Kennedy Colleen. They are coached by Alexis Beyondich and Mackenzie Carroll. We hope you enjoy the performance, the Kennedy Colleen.
Baby, how you feeling? Baby, how you feeling? Head toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Ooh, child, tired of the foolish. Gone, dust your shoulders off. Keep it moving, yes, Lord. Step into some new kicks. In there, swimwear, going to the pool quick. Come now, come dry your eyes. You know you a star, you can touch the sky. I know that it's hard, but you have to try. If you need advice, let me simplify. If he don't love you anymore, walk your fine self out the door and do your. That's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. Sugar spice and I'm nice. Show me what you made of. Crazy, crazy cool, baby, with or without makeup. Got nothing to prove, but I'ma show you how I do. What you say, boy? You tryna play coy like a game boy? Hit my phone, boy. Is your homeboy? Hit my phone, boy. Make a girl go crazy.
Our Kennedy Colleen. Our final performance for this homecoming halftime, the cheerleading squad. They are led by Captains Jasmine Bostic and Janasia Schuller, and coached by Kari Miller. We hope you enjoy this performance by the Kennedy Cheerleaders.
Music make you lose control. Music make you lose control. Let's go.
So yummy, no you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this sauce so yummy. No, you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy.
Thank you, cheerleaders! All right, we're going to close out our halftime celebration this evening with a performance by the Kennedy High School Pep Band under the direction of Mr. John Engebretson. Student Band!
Hey, welcome back down to the field here. We are here with a homecoming court. It is so exciting down here on the field. We're going to introduce them all to you right now. First of all, we're going to meet the top two. What happened was there was 12 to begin with, and then they narrowed it down to the final 3. And we have 2 of the 3 with us right now, along with all the other seniors that were up. So let's have a little shout out for all of them. They are going to do a little introduction of themselves, as well as tell a little bit about things they like to do at Kennedy or outside in their active life, as well as maybe a shout out or 2. Let's start right here with one of our royalties.
Hi, my name is Annabelle Sahadio, and I'm a senior, and I do badminton at Kennedy. I'm part of the National Honor Society and part of Women of the Future, and I'd like to give a shout out to TK and Coach Derek, and also to my sister who's in Florida.
All right, thank you very much. All right, next up.
Hello, my name is Somi. I am in badminton, show choir, Cambrio, National Honor Society, and so much more. I would like to give a big shout out to TK, a big shout out to my mom, my dad, my siblings, a big shout out to Alex Bazarhanik, Projetia Altona, and all these lovely people who are here today to support each other and all of us together, you know? Yeah.
All right, one quick question. You just got off the field doing Rhythm and Gold.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that and how, are you exhausted from that already?
Oh, totally. I am out of breath, and honestly, I don't know how I'm keeping up with this conversation, not gonna lie. But, you know, it's what we have to do as, you know, athletes.
All right, congratulations, you two. Let's meet the rest
Hi, my name is Candace. I'm involved in badminton. I dive for Kennedy. I'm in National Honor Society and Green Club. I want to give a shout out to the swim coach, Todd Welsh, and dive coach, Jonathan Bovey, and all of my friends that are here. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Next up.
All right, I'm Molly Fortner, and I'm a PSCO student at Kennedy, and I spend my time doing studio dance and working with kids.
Fantastic. Congratulations for being a part of this class today. It's awesome. Hello.
Hey, I'm Elijah. I'm a senior at Kennedy High School. I spend my time doing sports. I'm also in Leadership Academy. Shout out to Dina Wade. Shout out to all of Leadership. Shout out to TK. I love you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Julia. I'm involved in student government, a captain of the tennis team, and then Ignite and NHS. So.
Hey, tell me a little bit about Ignite and NHS. What are some of those things at Kennedy? What gets involved and how do you get involved in that?
Yeah, so NHS, it's a group of people who excel in school, and they're part of the leaders, and then Ignite are also leaders of the school who want to help the underclassmen feel comfortable and welcome. So we all are basically leadership groups.
Very cool. Thank you so much. I'm going to slide here in front of you. Hi.
Hi, how you
Introduce
doing?
yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
My name is Elijah. I am a captain for the sprinting and jumping.
You're all right. Doing great. Tell us a little more about that.
I play soccer. I am the captain of the sprinting and jumping, and for track and field. And I'm also an Ignite member as well. And yeah, I'm just having a good time, and I'm excited to be here.
Hey, congratulations. We were part of that soccer team last year. That was the section championship.
Yep.
How exciting was that?
So exciting. It was so amazing. Yeah.
It had been a long time. Do you remember how long it's been since they'd been a part of the state tournament?
Nah.
It was like 20-some years. So congratulations and a shout out to you and the rest of your teammates.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, here we go. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm Brian. I'm sorry, I got off guard. I'm Brian Diaz Jimenez, and I'm part of the Kennedy High School top 12, I believe.
Yeah.
Top 12 nominees for homecoming, and I'm involved with AVID programs and AVID Leadership Club at school.
What is AVID? Can you tell me quickly about that?
It's the Advanced Via Individual Determination Program.
Very
Basically,
cool.
just to help kids that are planning to go to college, and it basically helps them plan in advance, so when they graduate, they're able to go and take flight basically and just take on college right away.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. And last but not least, hello.
Hello
Tell
there.
us about yourself.
My name's Brian, and I'm a part of student government at Kennedy.
Yep.
And I usually play sports with the other sports teams as well as work out with them.
Okay.
So it's usually like a motivation thing, and I like to give a shout out to everybody here, including my friends, the homecoming court, and as well to my parents who supported me.
That is awesome. That's the entire group down here on the field. Josh, let's send it back up to you in the booth.
All right, Mark, thanks a lot for that. Great work down there. What a great halftime for Kennedy, the homecoming band, the cheerleaders, the Colleens, pretty much everything. Great crowd for Kennedy. Such a terrific atmosphere as we welcome back in Paul Fournier. But Paul, right now, Kennedy, everything else is clicking, but the football team, a little bit of trouble here. DeLaSalle, you look at this game, Kennedy 7 yards passing, 18 yards rushing. DeLaSalle, they've thrown for over 150 yards in this game. And quite honestly, Kennedy is fortunate to be only down by 7.
Yeah, very fortunate only to be down by 7. That short passing game by the Islanders has been what's killed Kennedy, not the long game. So we'll have to see if Kennedy's able to stay in it for the second half here, and if they can, maybe try to cut down on some of these short passes.
This is the game. Also, Kennedy's had the only turnover of the game. They're -1 in the turnovers. Running game was tough. Marquez Monroe has only had a couple of touches. Rajon Walker, no touches on offense for Kennedy. And then you saw the Islander passing game. There's Israel Moses Jr. He's a dynamic playmaker. We saw TJ Logan do some things. Here is Logan, 5 catches for 76 yards in the first half. And Coach Kedrick said it to Mark Hultgren at halftime. They did some things that they hadn't seen yet on tape. Most notably, Paul, I'd say 25 passes through the air certainly caught Kennedy and us off guard. Here's Amir Everett there with the catch. We've seen a lot of different guys touch the ball for DeLaSalle. They're spreading it around as here's the touchdown to Logan.
Yeah, they're spreading it around. No one player is making a statement. Everybody's touching the ball. Everybody's doing their job there on the Islanders bench. It's an all-around game, something we see what Kennedy does a lot, and Kennedy has not done today. So basically the Islanders have taken what Kennedy does with having all their playmakers make big plays and has stopped Kennedy from doing that, and now they're doing it against them here.
See the Islanders coming out there for the second half, 0-5. Kennedy, this is the game they need if they want to hang on to second place in section play and get that first round bye. Potentially, if they could finish the season as that number 2 seed. Again, this is assuming St. Thomas Academy stays at number 1. They've got a pretty healthy lead on the rest of this section as Kennedy heads out, homecoming halftime. Paul, I know you've got some score updates. Why don't you run us through those?
A couple quick score updates. At halftime, Jefferson was down 14-7 against South St. Paul. One of the big games that I was watching is Shakopee and Eden Prairie. Coach Nick Larson for Kennedy, a Shakopee grad, played quarterback for them. They're down 0-9. EP is up right now. Big game, Southwest and Minneapolis North. Minneapolis North is up 21-7 in the third. Wayzata is up 3-0 over Maple Grove. That was another top 10 game. Another trap game that I thought could happen, Minnetonka and Totino Grace. Totino Grace, not the same powerhouse that they used to be. 8-13. And then the St. Thomas Academy playing kind of their first game where they have been challenged a little bit against Matamidi. They are up 6-0, and they were also at half.
All right, thanks, Paul. Kennedy will get the ball to start the second half. Again, only down by 7, despite just 25 yards of offense. Zach Zesh, just 2 out of 7. No Saeed Al-Hassani tonight. He's in street clothes. Eric Johnson led the way, 5 carries for 14 yards. And you heard Coach Williams at halftime to Mark. He said, we're going to run the ball down their throats. We'll see if Kennedy can get that done. Remember, it's a DeLaSalle defense that has been gashed the last few weeks in that ground game. Kennedy's won some games in different ways this year, Paul, but they haven't done so from behind in a game where they haven't played their A game. Good to great teams find a way to win these games. We'll see if Kennedy can find a way to win here tonight as this kickoff, fortunately for Kennedy, it got away from Eric Johnson, but luckily took a sharp right-hand turn and out of bounds.
Yeah, very lucky bounce there. Coach Williams breathing a sigh of relief.
That could have been a problem.
Because that would have been bad. Eric Johnson also probably breathing a big sigh of relief, knowing that he's not going to have to hear from Coach Williams right now, especially after whatever he told that team in the half.
So Zach Zesh, we mentioned, just 2 out of 7 for 7 yards. Just 1 carry in the first half, too. Now those yards for Kennedy, we mentioned the 25. That doesn't include a couple of those fumbles that were negative plays for Kennedy. I think they only have 1 first down in this half.
I believe that is correct. They only had that 1 driver. They got the first down on a decent short pass play, I believe is what happened for Kennedy to get that first down, if my memory is correct.
So we'll see how much Coach K challenged this team at halftime. Played so well last week against Southwest. See if they can change the script here second half. Look at this full house look on play 1.
He's not joking around. We want to run it down their throat, and he's doing it.
Marquez Monroe stretches forward, but it's only a gain of a couple. 3rd carry for Marquez in the game, and he might be the guy to carry Kennedy from a running back spot. Marquez and Rajon, that dynamic duo. No touches for Rajon. He's the leading receiver this year for Kennedy. Maybe that's the way to get one of those two involved with Marquez on the ground. We'll stay with the same look here on 2nd and 8. No wide receivers.
And it's going to be good for Kennedy there.
It would appear so. Romel Bell got a little bit jumpy. It'll cost the Islanders 5 yards, and that was maybe the only negative for DeLaSalle, the penalties. There were only 3 of them in the first half, but 2 of them, one took away a touchdown, and one cost them about 60 yards of field position.
And that second one didn't have to happen because the play was already past them.
So 2nd and 3. Marquez left side, an opening. Monroe turning the corner. He's got the first down near midfield as he's chopped down at the 48-yard line, gain of 6.
And I think this is going to be smart by by Coach Williams here. You know, they don't need a big explosive play. They have an entire second half still to play. Just keep chipping away at this defense of the Islanders. I think at some point they're going to just break. That's kind of how it looked like on tape, how they've been giving up those big yardage totals the last few weeks. See Williams, Monroe there just get out around the outside and get that first down.
They go out of the full house look, couple wide receivers. Elijah Davis, nice cut upfield. Elijah Davis! There's the game-breaking play Kennedy was looking for. A 51-yard touchdown.
On a trick play. I said it was going to take something special to get it there, and Elijah Smith takes it to the house.
We as armchair fans and armchair coaches, Paul, we talk about you get frustrated when your team's down and you don't see a lot of changes in the second half. Well, I think you saw first series, big-time adjustments by Kennedy, and they go right down the field.
He said we want to run it right down their throat, and he did exactly that.
What a great cut, though, by Davis. The vision to see that hole. Smith, but talked about it all year for Elijah Smith. This is a guy that, just a junior, he has really emerged big time the last month of the season. And another huge play. He's done that the last few weeks. Remember that touchdown against Richfield on 4th down. Then last week he had the game-sealing catch on 3rd and long, and here he pulls Kennedy even as the extra point up and good.
Does that, he's, again, one of those guys, he's a big name. He's going to be a big name for Kennedy next year. Doesn't see the ball a lot, but when you need a play, he's able to come up big and make one of those plays. And it's interesting right now. It looks like the Islander defense there is scrambling a little bit to figure out what happened there when they've been so successful today.
Well, you think about it, DeLaSalle, they've dominated this game, and all of a sudden you're tied. And for a team that hasn't won a game yet, you have to wonder what's going through their minds here.
And it wasn't even like a long drive. It was 3 plays, and it took less than 2 minutes.
What a start for Kennedy. And now they have to deal with Hoban in that passing game. We'll see how the defense will adjust. Coach Williams said they hadn't seen a lot of that on film. Certainly they hadn't seen 25 passes in a half. Nobody had. DeLaSalle hadn't done that this year. They have now, and we'll see what Kennedy does defensively to start on its first possession.
And I wonder if that's just the way Kennedy's defense is as they're coming at them. The Islanders know that they can't go over the top.
Villas Rizzo keeps this kick short. It'll trundle, stay in bounds, and picked up by one of the up men, and then slips. That worked out pretty nicely for Kennedy, only at the 26-yard line. Or actually 21-yard. They will certainly take that.
Yeah, it slipped, and I think Israel Moses there also kind of gave him I think was coming up behind him to guide him, and he wasn't expecting him because you see the ball bounce up. He grabs it. You see Moses right there just kind of touch him. I think he wasn't expecting that behind him, and it just kind of everything startled him.
So that's the win. You make them go almost 80 yards, and you don't let one of their talented wide receivers touch the ball in the return game. Kennedy will take that the rest of the game if they can get it. But now this DeLaSalle offense, and what a first half for Brandon Hoban. 13 out of 25, 156 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks.
Kennedy on that kickoff, very lucky that ball took a left-hand bounce and not a right.
Quick wide receiver screen again, Ray James Jr. These are big wide receivers too. Moses 6'3", there's James at 6'1". You've got Aiden Higgins at 6'1". These are some tall receivers that may be more physical than Kennedy's seen this year.
Very much so.
Gain of 5 there on first down, the 14th completion for Hoban. Had just 24 completions all year till this game, and again, he was not the quarterback for a couple of the games. Ushered out there by Smith.
And DeLaSalle, a very young team, only I think 5 or 6 seniors on that team, so a very young team for them.
Same play to James Jr. Very close to the first down. Smith is there to usher him out of bounds again. They'll give him the progress. Gain of 6, and the Islanders have a first down. They have spread it around. Logan has 5 catches. Moses Jr. with a couple. You've had Higgins with a couple. 3 now for James, and 3 catches for Everett.
And Everett was the guy we were looking out for because of how versatile he is. If he wants to go in as a quarterback, as a running back, as a receiver, does a lot of defense as well.
Just 4 rushes for 8 yards, and those all came on the first run of the game. Now they go Wildcat with James. Not much there. He gets spun down actually for a couple of yards forward to the 35-yard line.
Corey Bartholomew in on that tackle.
You know, we talked about him at the beginning. He hasn't really been a factor because all those throws have been going out wide, Paul, and they've really not tried to run up the middle against this Kennedy defense at all. I think a good game plan in my view. That's the strength for Kennedy. And the Islanders, they're playing some young guys up front, including a freshman on the offensive line.
Yeah, like I said, they're a very young team, only like 6 seniors over there, but a lot of sophomores and a couple of freshmen listed on this roster here that we have.
Hoban back in there, wants to get some time to throw by rolling out, and he finds James. Pass complete to the 40, a couple yards short of the first down as he was brought down by Toby Somsaxi. It'll be 3rd down and short.
Nice defensive play there to stop him and make sure he doesn't get that first down.
It's been all Ray James Jr. in the second half. 3 catches and a carry in the first 5 plays for the Islanders.
Which means we probably won't see him come later into here the 3rd quarter, maybe early on in the 4th, because that's kind of how they do it. They kind of hit a receiver, they get a matchup going, and it works for them for a while. Then they go to another receiver, and they go to another receiver. They got so many talented players over there. It's hard to figure out where they're always going, but they seem to find a rhythm with one, and then they go to him for a while.
Key play here. Kennedy wants to keep this momentum after the touchdown. And Lee Anthony Wright Ponder just may have given the Islanders a first down. He did. Just the 3rd penalty on Kennedy.
Dead ball. Encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Our head official tonight, Gordy Morose, his crew tonight with experience ranging from 35 years to 15 years of high school officiating experiences. This is their last game, so they've been doing a heck of a job tonight, being very equal both ways. So hats off to those guys. We want to thank these officials. I saw another game up, I think in Duluth, where the crew assigned to the game couldn't make it, so they were scrambling an hour before the game started to find an officiating crew.
DeLaSalle has to take a timeout with 6.5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. All even at 7 apiece here on homecoming.
Kennedy pumped up. Whatever happened there, they got him thrown off there. DeLaSalle needs to come out with a new game plan here.
Let's talk about another Kennedy senior spotlight. And
the newest Eagle today, I guess you could say, Luke Dozian.
Yeah, there is Luke Dozian. Said just joined the team this week. He's an outstanding hockey player, lacrosse player as well. The senior, giving football a try this year. The last couple weeks certainly is helping the team tonight. His favorite football player, Luke Kuechly, loves to eat pickles. Favorite coach on the team, he says all of them. They're also great, hard to decide. Interstellar is his favorite movie. favorite football moment. He hasn't had a lot of them yet, but he says, Coach K helping me learn everything I know. Player he most respects on the team is fellow D lineman Christopher Martin. Goals for the season, just wants to contribute and help in any way he can, and he's certainly doing that tonight. Going to go to college next year, not sure where yet. And of course, something interesting about Luke is he's got his twin brother, Logan. So there you go, Luke Dojan just joining the team this week. 1st and 10 for the Islanders. They'll get a yard up the middle, maybe 2, depending on the spot. That's the 5th carry for Julius Jones for just 9 yards in this game. So the Islanders have not done much on the ground. Kennedy with that one rush there by Smith.
Third play of the half, and get a this Islanders this Kennedy defense is similar to the Islanders defense tonight up the middle. They're big and strong, and they're just stopping everything. So getting it to the outside is where they've been getting it.
2nd and 8. High snap. Hoban has it quick out. He's got Logan trying to make a bunch of players miss, and he can't make all of them miss as he's corralled. Forward progress stopped. It's a loss of 2 back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 10.
And that's exactly what they want. You can see that Kennedy's got a little bit of a new defensive package. They were playing soft earlier. Now they're bringing just about everybody up to try to stop those outside quick slants or quick screens that make those big plays. And luckily they blew the play dead, or I think Logan there was going to be off to the races for a touchdown.
So 3rd, they'll actually give him progress for a loss of 1. So 3rd and 9. Can Hoban have enough time here to get the ball downfield? Kennedy coming with the blitz, and the quick screen underneath. A well-designed play, and it's a 1st down. Marquez Monroe made an ankle tackle on Amir Everett, or else it's a touchdown. But a big 3rd and long converted by DeLaSalle.
That's not good for Kennedy. Somsaki kind of slow to get up there, but gets up. But again, gets that screen off there quickly, and
there's that tackle by Monroe. Smith was over there too, but I think he gets by Smith, and it's probably a touchdown if Marquez doesn't make that play.
Yeah, Marquez makes that initial stop, and then Smith comes in just to shut that back door.
Well, a good call against the blitz. We've seen that twice. Remember that 4th down conversion for the touchdown came on an all-out Kennedy blitz. Hoban under immense pressure again. I don't know if he was out of the pocket there. Got to the line of scrimmage. They'll rule it incomplete.
Luke Dojan making a difference. That's what he said he wants to do this year, just make a difference on the team. And right there on that play, he did just that.
And the athletes for Kennedy on this D line.
And they're all multi-sport for the most of them.
Yeah, Martin, also terrific basketball player. Wright Ponder, certainly. Just giving no time for Hoban. That's why you're seeing all these quick passes. 2nd and 10. We're already down to 4 minutes left. This is a 6-minute plus drive for DeLaSalle. They're really trying to shrink this game as much as possible, and it has worked. Crowd starting to get going for the first time. They realize the urgency on this possession. Hoban flings it out. It's caught by Higgins. Turns upfield, and it'll be close to the 1st down.
I'm thinking it's going to be holding on the offense.
There is a marker at the Kennedy 40 in the area of a wide receiver hold out there. There's the preliminary signal. It is going to go on the Islanders.
Yeah, David Aviles Rizzo was coming over.
Against the offense, number 1. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Still 2nd down.
Big coming over, and he just got grabbed and couldn't make it over. Take a look here at the replay. Throwing in right there. He gets grabbed and couldn't make it around him.
Yeah, well spotted by you, Paul. Obvious penalty there. Still 2nd down. Just get the feeling for Kennedy. This is such a big possession. If they can get a stop. Chance to take the lead, and they would keep that momentum going from that big play touchdown. They also need to get this defense off the field. They've been out there a lot in this game. Hoban under pressure again, just got rid of it, and it was incomplete in front of their bench. It was caught, but out of bounds is the ruling, so third down and extremely long now. Seen this a couple times where they just kind of run out of room. Lynch was a factor on the pressure that time, as well as Javon Davis. Good coverage downfield. You see right there was Enoch DeBlocka.
Yep, run into the short side of the field there for the Islanders. Hoban, I think if that comes out to his left instead of his right, I think they have a chance at making that play.
Here comes the crowd getting involved here on homecoming.
And if I were Kennedy, they got a new receiver in that I haven't seen yet tonight, number 20, Randy McClendon Jr., the sophomore, wide out left. Might see him.
They need the Kennedy 33-yard line. Hoban trying to buy time, and he's going to be wrapped up, got rid of it.
Nope.
And incomplete. Almost could have been ruled in the grasp there. Christopher Martin, who else?
Exactly, got him, spun him. I think if he hits his arm, he might force the fumble there.
Yeah, that was risky, certainly by Hoban. Martin again.
I think he was just hoping to not get thrown to the ground again. I don't blame him one bit.
Watch 84. Now, this is a big play because a lot of defensive ends, maybe the quarterback escapes there. Credit Hoban for not going down on first contact, but it was incomplete. And a big stop by the Kennedy D. Back there to receive the punt is Marquez, but it's a short kick. Stops at the 20-yard line. So it took a minute, Paul. A 7-minute drive for DeLaSalle, but they couldn't quite make it even past midfield. Kennedy takes over in their first chance to take the lead here in this second half.
We'll see what happens. They had a lot of success there on the first drive. They were, we'll see if that's able to stay going here. I got to keep running it right down their throats, and I think we'll see that full set package. Just get as many blockers, don't put anybody out wide, no real receivers here. You'll see Monroe back there trying to get a lot of those yards right now because
full house look, no receivers. Juan Rivera Ulloa is one of the fullbacks. Up the middle, ground and pound. Out to the 24-yard line for a gain of 5, Eric Johnson.
And again, just right up the middle. That's right where they're going to get it. And then again, I don't think they're going to go too tricky on this drive because I think the Islanders are going to expect it. But I mean, if I'm DeLaSalle, I'm not sure. I'm just going to keep stacking that box and just making them work for those yards.
Same look. It's got to be just so cramped down there. You see the Eagles, all 11.
Here they come.
Almost a flying V for the Eagles here. They'll go right side. Johnson pulled down, looks like a face mask. This will give Kennedy a first down. You could clearly see that all the way up here.
I saw it too, and first I thought.
Holding on the offense, number 56.
Okay.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still, second down.
Because when I saw it, I saw his his head go down, but I thought it was more jersey than it was face mask, and he just threw his head down to try to sell it. And take a look here on the replay. Right.
Hard to see where the hold is now. The problem with the full house look, they might have to come out of it now here on second and long. And they will, with a couple of wide receivers.
I remember the last time they came out with a different set look, all of a sudden they got a touchdown. So we'll see what happens here for the Eagles.
Zesh just 2 of 7 throwing, back to throw here, middle screen, and it's intercepted for a pick 6. Deshaun Harrison stepped in front. Just like that, DeLaSalle back in front.
Zesh didn't even see it happen. He saw it go down, and all of a sudden, you know, just stepping into the right play, reading that pass just right. You know, turns the game around. Kennedy's gonna get the ball back here, and we take another look here. Just reads it just right. Deshaun Harrison. Somebody we talked about before the game.
Yep. Their defensive player to watch, and
made us watch him.
Yeah, good reason on that play. Higgins is out for the point after to make it a 7-point game. And it is no good.
These field goals are gonna.
Wow. Remember, Kennedy lost on a PAT a couple of weeks ago. That'll make things a little bit easier, but still now Kennedy's second turnover of the game. And they're -2 in that turnover battle now. So we await the kickoff. Let's talk about another Kennedy senior. The senior spotlight, Nathan Ledoux, number 67. The offensive line, 5'6", 200 pounds. His favorite football player, Adam Thielen of the Vikings. Loves to eat steak. Also, Coach Shelton is his favorite coach on the team. The Walking Dead is his favorite TV show. His favorite football memory, getting a touchdown on JV last year. Player he most respects on the team is quarterback Zach Zesh. He's going to go to college next year, not sure where yet. Something interesting about Nathan, he had spinal surgery back when he was in 6th grade.
Kind of a scary surgery at such a young age, but you know, glad he's out there.
Absolutely. Must have gone well, as you could see. Still able to play football.
He's out there standing midfield right now on the special teams.
Nathan Ledoux, senior for Kennedy. Minute 53 left, third quarter. 13-7 is our new score. DeLaSalle trying for the upset. It's a short kick. Marquez Monroe gets his hands on it at the 15. Steps out of a tackle. They lost the football. DeLaSalle thinks they have it.
The entire bench thinks they have it. One Eagle tried to point, and we'll see here in a second.
They are fighting for it down there. A Kennedy player and a DeLaSalle player. They're going to give it to Kennedy. Enoch DeBlaca. Huge recovery.
That's going to be the one. That's the one thing that Marquez Monroe needs to work on, is his ball handling, because he likes to hold it out very loose.
Yep.
And
we've noticed that about him all year. You're exactly right, Paul. And we've seen a couple of fumbles.
And they come at big times, but then he will make a big play every once in a while. So
it was a good return out to the 35, so that's where Kennedy will start, down by 6. Missed extra point could loom large in this one. Kennedy sure hopes it does. Zesh, how will he respond to that pick 6? We don't get a chance yet. Kennedy, false start.
Dead ball. False start. Offense, number 65.
Kennedy.
5-yard penalty, still. First down.
Kennedy looking for maybe a neutral zone penalty there. Looked like a couple of the Islanders are just over the line.
I'm looking, Paul. I have not seen Rajon Walker in this second half.
I have not either.
I'm trying to see where he is on the sideline. Maybe we can get Mark Holgren on a report on that.
I know I saw him being looked at by a trainer, but it looked like he came off, got looked at briefly, looked at like something on his shoulder or neck, and then he walked. Then they both walked away.
Would be a big loss for Kennedy if he cannot go in this second half. The most explosive wide receiver. 1st and 15. Marquez Monroe. There's too many players on the edge. Only a yard.
And that's the one thing. When you saw the Islanders make those short plays and those short screens, they got all their blockers out there, and Kennedy's doesn't have that on those runs to the outside.
Malachi Taylor Simmons is in the game for Kennedy. junior wide receiver, number 18. Haven't seen much of him. Right now it's Smith and Aviles Rizzo, the wideouts. 2nd and 14 for Kennedy. Zesh wants somebody to go in motion. There's Aviles Rizzo in motion, has the handoff. And he's spun down at the 35. It's a gain of 5, Paul. You would think he was the player gonna get the handoff there. He wasn't going in motion for a while. That was interesting.
Very much so was. I don't know if maybe he just didn't hear him or didn't see what the thing was. And I don't know what's going on here, but Coach Williams is getting explained something.
Meanwhile, 3rd and 10 for Kennedy. Final seconds of this 3rd quarter.
I think they're just checking to see if the play clock was, if they had to snap one more ball. But I think Coach Williams is just going to run the clock out.
Yeah, we're going to go to the 4th quarter with Kennedy trailing by 6 on homecoming. This big game for Kennedy. They won the district championship last week, sharing it with Richfield and Minneapolis Southwest, but they're in trouble right now with just 12 minutes left in front of this big crowd that has really come out to support the Eagles in this game. We have the 3rd quarter break. Mark Hulkren, we send it down to you.
Yeah, just had an opportunity to talk to him on the field here. The problem was he got injured last week on that ankle, and similar injury happened again today. One of his own players backed up on top of him and stepped on that ankle and iced it, took care of it, did a little bit of therapy on it, and he should be back here in the 4th quarter. Back up to you guys.
All right, thanks, Mark. That's good news there. Can Kennedy come back and win this game? They had it tied up, and then that pick 6 late in the 3rd quarter. The difference right now. I believe that report was on Toby Somsaxi.
I think so too. So we'll see if he can find out about Rajon Walker. Because I don't see him on the bench at all, not even just in street clothes or anything. So
in the meantime, a big 3rd down for Kennedy, 3rd and 10. And Kennedy's completed just 2 passes in this game. And with Walker at least not available yet, makes the aerial attack much less potent for Kennedy. Marquez Monroe will line up as a wideout along with Christopher Martin. So 3rd and 10 for Kennedy. First play of the 4th quarter. Martin way out wide this side. They will hand it off, and Johnson gets blown apart. Back at the 31-yard line.
Marquez Monroe needs to watch out. Him and Ray James Jr. without anything going on, just kind of wrestling.
Kennedy will have to punt it here. We send it down to Mark Hulkren. Mark?
Hey, we're down on the field here with Rajon. Tell us a little bit about what happened and why you're sitting out right now.
It was we punted the ball, and then I was chasing after the dude, and then the other person on the team, he was coming towards me, and he blindsided hit me, and then my head started hurting, and then I came on the bench, and then Jesse had checked me out. He talked with the other doctor, and then he had sat me.
So we're done for the game?
Yes, sir.
Concussion maybe, or is that what they're thinking?
I don't have a concussion, but he just doesn't want to put me back in.
All right, sounds good. Back up to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Marcus. That's exactly why that blindside block rule was put into effect at all levels just a couple of years back. Hits exactly like that Rajon took, now not available for the rest of the game, and rightfully so, as this is a nice punt from Christopher Martin. Kennedy needed it, and they get a good one from Martin. 36-yard punt, no return.
Very interesting that they didn't they had their 2 return guys, but they were about 15 yards away from where that ball landed.
Bizarre. You would think they've seen punts go further than that already tonight.
And they have some explosive players back there, so
a little bit of a tactical error from DeLaSalle cost them a little bit of field position. They still start at the 26-yard line. We saw them just take 7 minutes off the clock last drive, Paul. They'd certainly love to do that again.
So I wonder if they were just trying to, give themselves a little bit more field to work with, take as much time off the clock as they can. I mean, even though if they score, they're up 2.
So big series for the defense. You don't know how many more possessions Kennedy's going to get offensively here. Here's a handoff on first down. Maybe a yard, but that's it. It's been nowhere to go for Julius Jones. And 6 carries for 11 yards.
Jones right now down for the Islanders, so that's tough, grabbing the hamstring area, it looks like.
All right, well, they look at Julius Jones. Let's get to another Kennedy senior spotlight. Roman Hauk, running back. You just saw him there posing. We'll see him on the hockey ice one more time this winter as well. 5'8", 160 pounds. His favorite football player, a guy with similar dimensions, Kyler Murray, quarterback for Arizona. Loves to eat steak. His favorite coach on the team is the head coach, Kedrick Williams. Criminal Minds is his favorite TV show. Favorite football memory, having a big run against Minneapolis Washburn. Player he most respects on the team, this one makes sense, fellow hockey player Luke Dojan. Goals for the season is get to that state tournament. Gonna go to college next year to play either hockey or lacrosse. And this is Roman's first year playing football. Something interesting about him. Glad he's given this sport a try. Not his number 1 sport, but it'll keep him active, and can't wait to see Roman the rest of the year playing hockey and lacrosse for Kennedy.
Fun player to watch on both of those places. Does a lot. Interesting to see that a lot of those hockey players and lacrosse players are being recruited to come out here and play football here for Coach Williams.
Yeah, there's something about those two sports. We see it at really everywhere. You play hockey, it's pretty likely you play lacrosse.
Basically the same thing, just on a different playing surface. And then throwing football into the mix. That's a very odd, interesting third sport that they're playing.
And Coach Williams, you want numbers, but you also want guys that are athletes. And certainly Hauk, one of those guys. So 2nd and 10 now for DeLaSalle, up by 6 after the injury. Now that running game is going to take a bit of a hit with Jones out for, who knows, maybe the rest of the game. New running back in there looks like, is that 22 DJ Simmons?
You know, Josh, your guess is as good as mine. I can't see that second number right now.
We'll find out. Hoban still the quarterback on 2nd and long. Wide receiver screen. And it's caught by Moses Jr., ushered out of bounds. It's a loss of a couple, and Kennedy's starting to play these wide receiver screens. That's the adjustment, and they have been minimal gains only here in the second half.
Good to see, and it is number 22, DJ Simmons, as that. It's listed as a defensive lineman in our book, but.
So now 3rd and 11. Clock under 10 minutes now.
Kennedy
beating the block there, Enoch DeBlocka, and then Smith also there.
Kennedy needs to come up big here. They stop him here and they get the ball back.
Be wary of these middle screens. That's been the recipe for DeLaSalle in these 3rd and longs.
And don't blitz.
They only rush 4. Stepping up is Hoban. Floats it downfield. Caught by Higgins. Into Kennedy territory. To the 30-yard line.
We got a
and
flag.
Now a late flag in the DeLaSalle backfield.
And the quarterback is throwing his arms in the air.
He may have been past the line of scrimmage.
It looked like it because he was.
A number 7.
Wow.
5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Lost it down. 4th down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huge penalty. We'll check it on the replay. It was close.
Let's see here.
This one may not be the best angle to decipher it.
Best one, but
he was certainly running a ways, and you could see him there kind of hold himself up, or at least try to. Hoban knew that was close. Not only does that wipe away a 30-plus yard gain.
And you see the official right there point at the other guy to make sure to see where that throw was.
It wipes away the huge gain, the first down, and they lose the down, so now they have to punt, plus the yardage from the spot of the foul. Another big play wiped away by a penalty for DeLaSalle. If they somehow lose this game, they'll look back on those penalties. There's been 3 big ones that have really cost them. Meanwhile, Marquez Monroe licking his chops back at the 40. Gonna get a chance here on the return, maybe. This takes a nice Islander roll if you're a DeLaSalle fan. At the 36-yard line. 40-yard punt.
The punt previous, Monroe ran right by the ball after it dropped, right before they downed it. So I think Coach Williams said, "You're not doing that anymore." You know, seen it a couple times in a couple college games where you pretend to fair catch it and you're able to pick it up, or just pick it up and run with it because nobody's downed it. And Monroe likes to make those big plays, but like I said, when he gets a little bit too excited, he loses that handle.
Sam Saxey is back in. Fourth quarter possession, Kennedy. Eric Johnson, right side, pushed back for a loss of 2. Just don't know how many more times you're going to get if you're Kennedy here. Maybe one more possession, 2 you'd think at the most after this.
Yeah, depending on how much time gets taken off here and how much time the Islanders take off if they don't score.
Now 2nd and long.
Think they maybe go back to that full house set.
Kennedy still with just 7 yards passing tonight. On 2 out of 9, that includes that pick 6, which is the difference right now. Monroe back in as the tailback. They get it to him. Marquez up the middle. Here he goes. Steps out of a tackle. And near midfield, he's got a first down. Looked like he might have been off to the races. Just got held up in the wash, but still a much-needed double-digit gain and a first down for Kennedy.
Got held up in the wash there. I think he was trying to get out of the way of one of his home players coming over to make a block for him, and I think that little half a stutter step to go around the back of him is what allowed the defender to catch up to him.
Well, your starting running back, Alisani, hasn't played. Rajon Walker's done for the night. They need 23 tonight. From just shy of midfield, back to Monroe. There's the charge forward they'd like to see from that O-line. It's a gain of 9.
Talked about it in the pregame. Kennedy's O-line versus the DeLaSalle D-line, and the D-line's been winning all night so far, and I think they finally found the right recipe to just break them.
Javon Davis in for Monroe, and with all the problems tonight, the turnovers, the lack of offense in the first half, you just need one drive here to potentially take this lead back for Kennedy.
And I think they got a false start there. It doesn't help them out.
Ball. False start.
Yeah.
Number 77 on the offense. 5-yard penalty still. Second down.
These aren't the big penalties that DeLaSalle has had tonight that wipe away gigantic plays, but they have added up in a game where Kennedy hasn't gotten much going through the air.
Yeah, they need to get even those little yards just like that, kill them. You go from a 2nd and 1 to a 2nd and 6. Now you got to go back those 5 yards. You're down a few of your, star players to make those big plays, and it's just simple little things.
4 down territory for Kennedy, really the rest of the way. 2nd and 6 here. Off the left side, Javon Davis gets a couple of them back.
You think about that, that's 3 yards right there is 3rd and 2, and that would have been another first down.
Midway through the 4th quarter, Kennedy has not led in this game.
You see Davis there just get around there and then get brought down. Davis is going to stay in the backfield for this next play.
Big third down. You don't want to leave it to a fourth down. Islanders showing blitz, and they jump offside.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Number 38. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
So they don't have to attempt the third down or the fourth down.
Exactly.
Now they're inside the 40.
You know, I think it was more than just the one player. I mean, it was entire.
Take your pick.
Everybody on the D line. Kind of like those full starts, everybody but the center.
Zesh hands it off. Davis, that was an exaggerated handoff, and Davis wrapped up. Milton Blamo, number 38, back at the 41 for a loss of 2.
Those handoffs have been what have killed Kennedy, those delayed, exaggerated handoffs. That's how they lost the fumble earlier.
You could see Zesh wanted to pull that, but it was too late.
Yeah. Almost smarter at that point for him just to let it go and, take the loss of 2 instead of maybe a loss of a possession.
Coming off late, David Harris. 2nd and 12. Under 5 minutes remaining. Sam Saxey in motion. Handoff. Marquez Monroe stood up.
No offensive line there to help him.
No
blocking. 4
Islanders were there to meet him at the 40. He'll get a yard, but it's 3rd down and 11. Kennedy up against it right now. They still have all 3 timeouts. Zamir Everett was on that stop.
The crowd, super fans are coming to life right now. But yeah, just nowhere to go for Monroe.
Huge 3rd down. You'd like to get at least some of it here to make the 4th down easier.
Need about 6 or 7, I think, to make that 4th down easier.
Here comes DeLaSalle. Zesh over the middle. It's tipped. It incomplete.
Almost picked off, too.
So now decision time for Kedrick. 3:44 left. All 3 timeouts still available. So the choice is punt it, pin him deep, hope to get the ball back as Everett tipped that pass, or go for it here on 4th down. And it looks like he's going to go for it.
I think you go for it. It's too much on the line right now. You gotta make it. I think if you don't, your defense has played very well. You can hope that they can go out there, you save your timeouts, and maybe try to get that ball back and do one more thing.
See if Kennedy can convert. DeLaSalle showing blitz. Long count for Zesh, and they snap, and he wasn't ready! And DeLaSalle will take over. Kennedy should have used a timeout there. They were not ready for that blitz.
Yeah, Zesh was waiting. They had just adjusted the defense, and then they snapped it. It almost looked like the Detroit Lions this last weekend, where Jared Goff was still trying to get things set, and all of a sudden the ball came out to him. It's a miscommunication. It's what killed him.
This game not over, though. They can still get the ball back. They have all 3 timeouts. But 1, maybe 2 first downs, certainly 2 first downs, 1 maybe will get the job done for DeLaSalle. They haven't run the ball at all tonight.
Let's see what happens. I mean, we saw it with Richfield. They decided to keep going for it.
DJ Simmons is the running back. Here's the handoff. Bartholomew hit him first. And it's a loss on 1st down. And no timeout yet from Coach K.
See him right there, Bartholomew. We talked about him in the pregame. Makes that first hit, and then a flock of Eagles bring him in.
So they're wanting to save a timeout for offense, apparently. Conventional, you'd rather use them on defense because you control the clock on offense, but still plenty of time left, even with the 2 timeouts. Under 3 minutes now. 2nd and 12. Will DeLaSalle put the ball up in the air is the question.
We got a Wildcat here, so we'll see.
It is James in the Wildcat, so probably not. Here's the run on the ground. James to the edge! And he's pushed. Is he out of bounds? He is. He got about 9 to the Kennedy 49. Sets up a 3rd and short. If I'm DeLaSalle, I'd probably stay at the same formation.
I agree. The snap gets it, and again, that offensive line for DeLaSalle, even though they're very young, a lot of freshmen and sophomores on it, coming up big here.
Well, the good news is for Kennedy is that stop the clock. The bad news is they pick up 9, and now it's only 3rd down, and they'll call it 3. Biggest play defensively right now for Kennedy with the game on the line. And James is back there in the Wildcat, trying to spread Kennedy out with 4 wide receivers. James will keep it left side, trying to get to the edge, and he's going to be short. Kennedy drives him back at midfield. Now hold on, the flag comes late.
There is some shoving. I don't think.
Oh my goodness!
They blew the whistle. I don't think the defender who was in the process of grabbing him heard the whistle.
If this is on Kennedy, it's absolute disaster.
Because it was
dead ball, personal foul. Number 84.
Oh my goodness!
15-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
Christopher Martin.
He's looking for an explanation. Coach Williams has his, but you snap there. He gets wrapped up right here, and I think the whistle happens there. And then I think because somebody didn't hear a
it's
whistle.
This move right here from Martin.
I think it's that because they don't think they heard the whistle because he was still trying to spin out of it.
This is basically going to end the game if DeLaSalle is smart about it.
Timeout called by Williams.
Also, timeout. Kennedy. That is their 1st.
Kennedy uses one. What a huge penalty right there. 7th penalty on Kennedy. Let's get to another Kennedy senior spotlight here during the timeout. Antonio Torres on the offensive line, 6 foot, 250. His favorite food, also steak. Favorite coach on the team, Coach Etzel.
Haven't heard him called yet today.
There you go. Favorite TV show, Breaking Bad. His favorite football memory is freshman mud practice. Player he most respects on the team is Danny Contreras Sanchez. Something interesting about Antonio is he loves to cook. There you go. Number 60 for Kennedy, Antonio Torres. So now DeLaSalle, Kennedy 2 timeouts. They can stop it on 1st and 2nd. Trying to do the math here, Paul. They can maybe get it back.
With the clock running.
Minute 30, you're thinking probably at most. But now that 15 yards is also big in terms of field position, even if you're fortunate enough to get it back.
I don't think it was an intentional play there. I think it was. I don't think he heard the whistle.
I don't think so either. Here's the 1st down run. Maybe they can get him out of bounds here. They're trying.
Kennedy's got to be safe there. There's another play. Elijah Smith took him to the ground. Kennedy's starting to, they just need a.
The Kennedy player also down. It was Simmons on the run. Kennedy was trying to get him out of bounds to stop the clock, and then a late flag.
Dead ball. Personal foul on the defense, number 11. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Yeah, I saw him in there trying to make the tackle, and after the whistle, I just saw the DeLaSalle player go down. That's not good, and you can see Toby Somsaki hands on the head, knowing that they had a chance, and unless he's pointing at something else, because he just took his helmet off and pointed at his head. It's being looked at by one of the team doctors. So gets to the outside, wrapped up. I think the whistle comes here, and then you see Elijah Smith. And I think everybody, again.
Not really sure where the personal foul came in there. They were trying to get him to the sidelines, but you're right, Paul. The just like the previous play, the whistle had already blown.
If the replay cut off, so the whistle blows, I believe, right here. They keep trying to push him to the sideline, and then right there, somebody went flying. From where I was, it looked like Smith brought the guy to the ground, but that replay from that angle looked like it was the opposite way.
Meanwhile, the news keeps getting worse for Kennedy as Christopher Martin still down.
And Samsak Yaf on the bench.
So still looking at Christopher Martin, such a big part of the team this year. Unfortunate back-to-back penalties for Kennedy. And even if they are able to get a stop now, DeLaSalle would be in field goal range to put it away.
Yeah.
Things looking bleak right now for Kennedy in this game. But more importantly, they've got bigger games ahead. This one, if they go on to lose this, Paul, you'd imagine, depending on what Hastings does, they would likely fall from that second position.
Yeah, it's going to come down to that, and comes down to just making some mental errors. But the fact that you don't see Chris Martin getting out, now he's getting up with some assistance. You hope that, he's fine to go. You hope that you get some of these guys back who are injured right now. They're something's tweaked. They can come back Monday, Tuesday, be healthy and ready to go by the start of the next game, because last few weeks they need these guys healthy. Kennedy can't take another blow with another player down.
So now the ball for DeLaSalle inside the 20. See if the clock winds here, if it starts on the snap.
I believe it does, because it's a defensive penalty.
And there's the clock starting.
There it is.
So will make it tough for Kennedy with just the 2 timeouts. DeLaSalle will let this go well under 2 minutes. Hoban is out there. Don't expect him to throw. He's thrown just 10 passes in the second half as opposed to 25 in the first. And this play, a timeout, Kennedy.
Timeout, Kennedy. That is their second of the half.
Oh my goodness, they let 30 seconds go off the clock and then call the timeout, and now mathematically pretty much impossible for the Eagles.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe they had too many players on the field or something, but
if you're going to call the timeout, do it right when the clock starts.
Yeah.
So now you just do the math for DeLaSalle. 40 seconds can come off on 2 of the next 3 plays, and you're pretty much almost down to 0 at that point.
Yep. It's a tough loss.
It is. Such high expectations now for Kennedy. We talked about it all game, Paul. It was our first key point. How will Kennedy play as they're the ones now with the target on their back after the big win last week against a team that has yet to win. They didn't get off to a fast start like we talked about. They got it tied early in the second half, but credit DeLaSalle. Their offense may not score a point in this second half. This is kind of like that Richfield game, right, where Kennedy kept them out of the end zone. It seems like we're watching the same game. Kennedy not able to get out of its own way at times, and the opponent just doing just enough.
You know, they get the bounce to go their way a couple times on, you know, that fumble that puts them on the 5 in the first half.
Here's a run wide. See if Kennedy can get this running back out of bounds.
And not throw him to the
They
ground.
did. This is an error from DeLaSalle. Seen these last 2 home games, Paul, where not making a lot of great decisions here down on the end on both sides with some clock and strategy. That was completely unnecessary. Like we talked about a couple weeks ago, just take a couple of knees. The worst thing that can happen for DeLaSalle if you do that is maybe there's 10 seconds left. Now you go out of bounds and you give Kennedy a free timeout.
Yeah. I mean, we talked to the Ridgefield coach. He said it's the same thing.
It's not.
In the game where he had 5 fumbles.
A lot of bad things can happen.
Yeah. I think Kennedy's hoping for that.
There's been one game in history where taking a knee has cost a team a game. That was 40-some years ago.
And he just...
I like that play a little bit better. Now you lose some yards, but you make sure you keep the clock moving as Hoban goes down.
I mean, he luckily fell on... I think he almost fumbled it there.
You're right. I mean, we've seen that happen before.
Timeout and a half.
Kennedy calls a timeout quickly. So you like that move. And now, you're right, though. If Hoban loses that ball before his body comes down, that's fair game. Luckily for DeLaSalle, he hangs on to it. So now 3rd down for the Islanders. And before we get to this 3rd down and what we think will be 4th down. 3rd down and 13 right now. Let's get to a senior spotlight for Kennedy, number 76. Danny Contreras-Sanchez on the offensive line. 5'11", 300 pounds. His favorite football player, Aaron Donald. You can see why similar build for that great defensive lineman in the NFL. Loves to eat tacos. Favorite coach, he says he loves all of them. Avengers Endgame is Danny's favorite movie. Favorite football memory, when he got to run with the ball on a kick return. I'd like to see the video of that. Player he most respects on the team is his twin, is Antonio Torres. Wants to make some memories for this season. Going to wrestle in college next year, and he loves chicken.
Kennedy, a big wrestling school.
They are. So here's 3rd and 13. DeLaSalle is going to throw this ball, and it is
incomplete.
Incomplete.
Kennedy's
What a mistake. That is stunning. There's still 1:20 left, and now what do you do on 4th down?
Kick a field goal. I mean,
this is a 40-yard field goal right here.
They're sending him out.
Unbelievable.
It looked like it, at least.
There should be 10 seconds left in this game right now. 4th down. Instead, there's 1:20.
And we're going to attempt a field goal again at the same side that...
Maybe Kennedy can block. This would end the game if it's good.
Yep.
But shouldn't have to come to this. Maybe Kennedy can block this thing. Who knows? It's Higgins. This is a short hold. This is officially only a 37-yarder. The kick.
Left.
Long enough.
No, right.
No good.
Left.
And Kennedy still has 1:18. 100% perplexing. They run out of bounds and throw a pass on 2 of the downs. Kennedy only had 1 timeout left.
Take another look here. Snap and then just wide right. And I think it was a little bit short too. Or
it was close.
It was close, but again, that south goal post is...
There's a hex
if I'm a
over
kicker,
there.
I'm not going. Don't even send me out, coach. Go for 2 or do whatever else you got to do.
So now, unbelievably, shockingly, Kennedy has the ball back with some time. I know they don't have any timeouts. It's a long way, but this game should be over.
Very much should be, and they just sent Lee Anthony Wright Ponder out. Not sure. Looks like he's on the line to help block.
Monroe is the back. No timeouts for Kennedy. They need to go 80. Zesh Just 2 completions all
That's
night.
it.
That is caught.
He's out. He
and
just
out of
stepped out.
bounds, Elijah Smith. I don't know if he was the intended target.
I don't think he was.
It
I
went
think he
through
caught
the
it.
hands of Wright Ponder. Davis caught it. It's a 7-yard gain, and it stops the clock.
I think he caught it by accident because you see him. Zesh goes through that hand and I tips it, and he catches it, and then almost.
Yeah, they correctly ruled, though. Smith still moving forward there. Good call. Got out of bounds at least. So heck of a play there once again from Smith. 3rd completion only in first of the half for Zesh.
And we just got
another Kennedy penalty. Is
too many men.
I know they're trying some new players here at receiver.
Substitution infraction
Yep.
against the offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty still. 2nd down.
Just too many little mistakes for Kennedy. And they've added up.
Yep.
Some paper cuts have turned into a little bit of a gash. Penalty number 9 for the Eagles. Now 2nd and 8.
I'm just glad I'm not on that bus ride back to Kennedy after this game.
Zesh over the middle, incomplete. The receiver, number 12, don't have him listed on the roster. That's how deep Kennedy's had to go here with injuries at the wide receiver spot. And now 3rd down and long. If I'm Kennedy, I'd somehow, some way try to find, I know it'll be difficult, try to get the ball to Marquez somehow. Some sort of a play here. Line to gain is the DeLaSalle 30. Zesh under pressure, gets out of it, floats it this side, and he had Marquez, and it was overthrown. I think that was it, Paul. That was the chance they had.
It was.
A broken play. Marquez will get open.
Just a little too far in front of him.
And now 4th down. Think about that, Paul. If you're DeLaSalle and that is complete and you lose this game.
I mean, there's still way too much time on the clock,
Crazy.
Josh. There was still too much time on the clock.
Now 4th down and 9 for Kennedy. Need the 30-yard line. Low snap. Zesh has it. Going for the shot for Smith,
That's
and it's
wrong.
intercepted.
He just needs to go down. He just needs to go down.
Still running with it. DeLaSalle. Marquez Monroe forces him down, and the Islanders are going to win, we think.
Seen some crazier things today,
We
Josh.
think they're going to emerge with the win now.
And that's not good because Monroe is now holding his hamstring. It's something Kennedy cannot afford. And, you know, Monroe, when he went in for that tackle, I thought he was, he almost looked like he was headhunting and just grabbed him and tackled him to make sure he went down. But I want to see if we can see where that injury is. The pick is there. Returns here.
It was Julius Jones, the running back in.
And right there, I wonder if just the way he came down on him, that's just what aggravated it. But it looks like they haven't sent the training staff out, so, but they also have their hands full right now.
That is not
Yeah, it's
promising for Marquez. Boy, what a week for Kennedy.
so much
Ray Jean
excitement.
goes down, Christopher Martin down, Marquez goes down, and
Somsaki is on the bench right now being looked at, and they were going through a concussion test, it looked like to me.
and the cherry on top of the week for Kennedy is they're going to lose this game. Fall to 3-3.
And I can't find anything on that Hastings game. So we'll have to see what happens with that.
DeLaSalle is going to pick up its first win. They certainly gave Kennedy chances at the end, didn't they, Paul?
They did. I mean,
they gave Kennedy some extra chances to win.
They haven't had the chance to have the target on their back, and you know, the spotlight shines the brightest. And when you're going up against a team that is 0-5, and you walk in thinking it's gonna be a cakewalk.
And I don't know if they thought it was going to be a cakewalk, Paul. I don't want to be inside the team, but it certainly Coach K said it at halftime to Mark Holgren, and they came out flat, and those were his words.
Yeah.
And you could certainly see that. And second half was just kind of an attrition, and you're seeing it right now. Kennedy losing top player after top player. And yes, they probably shouldn't have gotten the ball back for that final drive. When you have it out there, you got 4 of your best weapons on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And for a team like Kennedy, a team, Eden Prairie, the Lakeville Souths of the world, they can deal with a few key injuries. But teams at this level, like Kennedy is at right now with those numbers, it really hurts you.
It does. And I mean, it goes back, 10 real minutes ago when this game could have been over, Josh.
Yeah, we said that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and again, he made the tackle, and it was just on that. That's what happened is.
And there's one knee from Hoban. He'll need one more.
I will say, for Marquez, it does look like it's just a cramp based on what they're doing to him on the sideline. But you think of like Theo Simmons a few years ago when he would cramp up, he had to get carried off a few times. So,
DeLaSalle, a stunning victory. The way it unfolded tonight. And Kennedy made all the adjustments defensively in the second half. DeLaSalle was pretty much shut down, but their points came on that pick six. The Islanders get their first win of the year. Kennedy falls to 3-3. And just disappointing for Kennedy on homecoming, and the great crowd, the great festivities. You would have loved to pay it off with a win and keep that momentum moving forward after last week's huge victory. And now Kennedy has some regrouping to do as they enter their final 2 games of the season. They'll be on the road against SMB next week. We'll see them one more time at home on that Wednesday game, October 20th, against Minneapolis Henry. 7 o'clock start there, Paul, but a deflating one for Kennedy. They had every opportunity to win. Give DeLaSalle credit. They came out with a game plan that I think Kennedy was not ready for, and they executed that in the first half, and ultimately that was the difference in the game.
Yeah, it was extremely the difference in the game. They came out, DeLaSalle was able to play DeLaSalle's way throughout the entire game. They didn't let Kennedy do anything. They didn't let Kennedy get any momentum. They stopped him on every play that they could. DeLaSalle had their mistakes, and Kennedy just couldn't capitalize on those mistakes. And then, at the end there on the final, 2 drives that shouldn't have happened, Kennedy makes a couple big mistakes.
Well, and give this DeLaSalle defense credit. It has been a unit in the last 4 weeks entering today. They had given up an average of 44 points per game allowed, just 7 tonight. Yes, Kennedy was undermanned offensively due to the rash of injuries, but still the Islanders, if it's not their strongest defensive effort of the year, they gave up 12 against St. Anthony earlier this year. It's certainly their second best. Give that unit credit.
Yeah, they played their heart out, and they did everything that they could to try to make it happen, and that's how they came away with that victory.
Down to Mark Holgren. He's on the sidelines with Coach K. Mark.
Hey, thanks a lot, you guys. Coach K, tell us a little bit about the end of that game. They gave you a few opportunities. What do we got to work on for next week to get back in the win side? We're 3-3 now.
We got to work up front. They blitzed a lot. They probably blitzed about 80-90% of the time, and our linemen couldn't pick it up, so we couldn't get an established running game. The second half was better, but we just have to go back to work, man. We're not going to change too much. We've been successful this year doing things a certain way. We're going to go there and we're going to get better.
We had a couple of injuries late in the game there. They look like serious things or things we can get through?
Both. A couple of nicks and bruises. We'll see what's wrong with number 84, Chris Martin. We'll figure that one out right away, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good. Coach, thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it on homecoming. Any last words about this football team? Where we're going to go from here?
No, we'll see you again October 20th for the season finale here at Lincoln Stadium.
Sounds great. Thanks, Coach.
Comes to town, Minneapolis Henry.
Fantastic. All right. See you later, Coach. Yep, back up to you guys.
All right. Thanks a lot, Mark. Good to see Coach K stopping by. I know it's tough after a tough loss. There they are, DeLaSalle. He said, as much as Kennedy struggled in this game, they certainly did not play their best game. But give DeLaSalle credit, an 0-5 team. They come on the road, and they came out with a game plan, and they executed, and they executed better than Kennedy in this game, and that's why they won.
Yeah, they did. I think, you could look at Kennedy, say, it's homecoming week. They have those distractions. They had the Pep Fest today. They have all the pomp and circumstance at halftime. Everything's going on, a lot of distractions. DeLaSalle doesn't have any of that, and they have a lot more to – essentially, they were playing with a lot more heart today. They came out. They knew that they had to get a win. They want to get a win. A young team comes out and, on the road to beat another team. And the environment was perfect for Kennedy to win tonight, and they just couldn't do it.
Back down to the sidelines, Mark Hulkren. Mark.
Hey, thanks a lot. We're down here with the quarterback for DeLaSalle. Brendan, tell us a little bit about this game and what a great win. Get on the win side.
Yeah, it feels great. Whole team effort. Defense played great. Offense, we played really well, but defense really stepped up. All phases, special teams too. Just great team win. Feels amazing.
So we look back at this game. Can you put back into a key play, key pass, key run, something that really made a difference tonight?
I'd say the pick six for sure. That definitely changed the tide, and just our overall quick game offense really kept them off balance whole game, and we drove the ball, kept the time going too. So great win.
Tell us a little bit about your career here at DeLaSalle in football.
This is my third year starting. Unfortunately, this season I broke my collarbone the second game, so I've been out. This is my first game back, but I've loved it here. Love playing for Coach McMorris. He's a great coach, and I'm glad we're kind of changing the culture back to winning ways here, and that's what I want to leave the legacy as.
Awesome. Sounds great. Terrell McMorris, welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. A big win for you guys tonight. Your quarterback very poised, obviously, in the interview as well.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your team tonight and what made the difference on this win.
Well, our team's starting to buy in now. They're starting to believe in the culture. They're starting to accept the coaching, and we're buying into being great by choice, and that's what we were tonight. We made plays. We believed in each other. We supported each other as brothers, and we came out victorious.
Your defense really held through when they needed to tonight. They really put the rush on. What were some of the key features in that tonight?
Kind of like what Brandon alluded to, that pick six on the screen. That was a huge play for us. But our defense has played pretty stout all year, so we expect those guys to play well. And when we get 11 hats to the ball, we usually do very well.
That's awesome. Tell us a little about your coaching staff, guys that have been with you for a while, and what's the game plan for the next game?
Yeah, so we have Southwest coming up for Senior Day. And our coaching staff are great guys. They're great coaches. We have guys that's coached at the college level. Few of us played Division I. Few of us played professionally. So we try to get the guys as focused and mentally prepared as we can. Great coaching staff all the way down from the top to the bottom.
Fantastic. Congratulations on that big win tonight over Kennedy, spoiling their homecoming. But that's the way it goes. On the field here, great to see you, Coach. We'll send it back up to the booth to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Great job tonight. And Coach McMorris has to be happy with his team's performance. And you saw Brandon Hoban there, too. And that first half offensively was the difference. They only got 7 points out of it, Paul, but they came out with the game plan. Kennedy, Coach Williams said as much at halftime. They hadn't seen that yet. They adjusted at half, but Hoban, 13 out of 25 in the first half, 156 yards, got that touchdown on fourth down, and from there they needed that pick six, but that was all they needed, and then it was a game plan that worked out as well as it could have for DeLaSalle.
Yeah, it did. They had it in their advantage. Quarterback has a broken collarbone early on, so he doesn't get a lot of film. Kennedy doesn't see that. They see the other guy playing. All of a sudden, he comes out and starting. So I think that threw Kennedy for a loop. But as Coach McMorris said, the team just kind of all bought into whatever the game plan was tonight, and they executed it just right.
And the defense was certainly a factor in the win as well. Let's take a look at the highlights here on a homecoming that was filled with a lot of great atmosphere for Kennedy. Just came up a touchdown short. Defense played well most of the game. I know they kind of bended but didn't break in that first half with all the passing yards that they allowed, but they kept it in front of them without the big plays. There's the sample of that short passing game. Hoban again, 13 completions, 25 attempts in the first half. Another wide receiver screen. That's
the play of the game for them.
Yeah, TJ Moore there. Just kept it short. TJ Hogan, excuse me, kept it simple for them. Kennedy's defense, though, the defensive line, there's Martin getting a sack. When they tried to do deeper routes, that's where Kennedy's D-line was effective.
Yeah, the Kennedy D-line was able to get back there, get a lot of pressure on that quarterback Hoban, and that's where he was able to disrupt the pass when he was making those short passes. That's, you get the ball out quickly, Kennedy brings everybody, and all of a sudden you got wide open fields, and this is that Kennedy touchdown early on here in that second half.
It looked promising there. Elijah Smith went 51 yards. Kennedy made it a 7-7 game. But then that pick six that swung things in favor of the Islanders picked off there, and that was the final result there, 13-7.
Yeah, I don't think Zesh saw him coming up the middle. He, kind of was, I think, almost trying to throw it at the ground there, and it just, arm was too high, just got that ball a little bit too much air and was unable to make it to the ground, and that's, what happened.
Disappointing loss for Kennedy for sure, but still a lot of big things to play for. They're still in the mix for one of those top two seeds, certainly even with the loss tonight. And, next week we saw them a deflating loss against Richfield. What do they do the following week? They go upset Minneapolis Southwest. So who knows? There's still two more games for Kennedy and still a lot of big things to play for.
A lot of big things to play for. I think they're going to be cheering very hard for Jefferson next week because Jefferson lost tonight. So Jefferson's got to play Hastings next week. Hastings beat South St. Paul. South St. Paul just beat Jefferson, so we'll see what happens there with that game. But it's going to come down to what happens next week with Jefferson playing Hastings. But Kennedy, they got to get healthy. They got to fix those mental mistakes on that last drive. They had those two 15-yard penalties that I don't think anybody thought that they were trying to do anything. Sure. I think they couldn't hear the whistle. They just kept playing through it, and then all of a sudden, you got 15 yards added on to the end of those. So just fixing some of those little things. You got to get the team healthy. Again, you lost way too many players tonight in places you shouldn't have lost players. So
yeah, that'll be one of my first questions for Kedrick on Inside Kennedy Football Tuesday. We don't want to reveal any information that he doesn't want out there, but certainly Kennedy, as you said, Paul, boy, a lot of injuries tonight, and we certainly hope that they can get healthy sooner rather than later. Again, our final score tonight on Homecoming, it's DeLaSalle. They win it by a final count of 13-7. For our entire crew, for Mark Holgren, for Paul Fournier, this is Josh Powers saying good night from Bloomington Stadium.